Salamat po.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon, Sir Buen. Sir Norman, good afternoon
Good
sa atin.
afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Sir Norman. Okay.
So, yan. So, Sir Buen, marami tayong kasama kanina na nandito din sa
Yes,
ating
sir.
part 2 webinar. So, kindly, paki-demo naman how to claim their certificate.
Okay po, sir. Okay, so pakisundan lang po, dear participants. So, first is type po natin sa browser for a while, ha?
So, ito po para sa mga participants natin kanina na hindi pa nakapag-claim ng certificate.
Okay. So, ito po ang steps, dear participants, kung paano po natin makiklaim yung mga certificates using the training codes po na binigay kanina ng ating mga Microsoft Education Ambassadors. So, una po ay proceed po tayo sa ating browser. And then type natin education.microsoft.com. Then after that one, so please create your account. And then once you have your account po, so click po natin sign in. Okay? For a while, ha, para ma-zoom ko po. Okay. So yan. So proceed po tayo. Okay, so dito sa sign in po. So click po natin yan. And then use our Microsoft account. So since meron po tayong Microsoft account, so click na lang po natin sign in. So again, granting po na nakapag-create na po kayo ng Microsoft account. So after natin makapasok po, proceed po tayo sa natin, sa profile avatar po natin. Ito po. So dito. So yung may profile pic natin. Okay? So yan po ang i-click natin, tapos after mag-click natin may mga options po tayo, tatlong options: profile, redeem achievement code, and then sign out. So since the purpose natin is a redeem achievement code, okay, so ito po pinaka-purpose natin, redeem achievement code. Okay, so click that one and then input natin yung mga code. Okay, so type ko po ang unang code natin. Okay, so that's theta dash tapos Charlie Gamma Charlie Bravo Alpha and then 7821. Okay, so lakihan ko lang po ng konti. So yan po ang pinakaunang code natin. So that's theta dash Charlie Gamma Charlie Bravo Alpha 7821. So yan po ang pinakaunang code. So after natin po na input po yan, so press natin po ang redeem. So mag-reply po sa atin yan. So the response po is you completed the following training. Okay. So yan po. Then same process pa rin since dalawa yung code. Okay. So ang pangalawang code po ay theta pa rin slash tapos lambda bravo alpha tapos 4 foxtrot and then 6421. So again, pinaka-purpose natin kung bakit natin ito ginawa para ma-claim po yung certificate sa naunang session natin kanina. So yan po, na-zoom ko po kung ano po ang code natin sa pangalawa po. So that's theta dash lambda bravo alpha 4 foxtrot 6421. Okay, so yan po ang pangalawa. So same process. Press natin ang redeem. Yan. And then para makita natin po yung mga redeem codes natin, converted into certificate, proceed po tayo sa my profile. Okay? So, balikan ko po. Proceed tayo sa my profile. Ito. So, my profile. So, pasok po tayo dyan. And then afterwards, makita po natin lahat ng mga nakukuha nating mga courses. So, in my case, ito po yung mga courses na nakukuha ko na po. So, there are 100 plus. So, kadalasan sa mga certificates na pinakaunang makuha po ay ito. So, pagiging Microsoft, Certified Microsoft Innovative Educator. So, yan. Then, ito sa baba, may nakalagay na blue text. So, yung blue text na yan, i-click lang po natin para ma-view certificate and then makita po natin yung certificate natin. So, yun po ang magiging certificate, and that certificate po ay coming from Microsoft Education Center. Okay? And then, grab ko na lang din pong opportunity since nasa naman tayo, nasa Microsoft Education Center. You can know yourself for the lot of trainings or courses, learning paths, webinars, and online events. Okay? So, aside sa mga webinars na napuntahan niyo po. Okay? Okay? So, I hope nakuha po ninyo other participants yung steps. So, redeem the code po kasi sayang po yan. Okay? And then yan po ay isang visa po na kayo po nakapag-attend ng session natin sa first session natin kanina. Okay? So, I hope nakuha po ninyo. So, again, since ito naman po ay auto-recorded, so pwede nyo pong balikan yun. Okay, so balik po tayo sa common natin na part sa routine natin. So again, Digital Technician po ay may webinar for a cause po. So purpose po natin ay makapagbigay ng mga kaunting tulong sa public school teachers at kung anumang schools na pwede natin matulungan. So in this case po, pinakauna po ay nakapagbigay tayo ng 50 reams of A4 size bond papers para sa Zapatira National High School, kung saan po ako nagtuturo, and also sa school ni Sir Art at Sir Norman sa Lian National High School. Okay. And then, proceed na lang po ako sa upcoming events po. So, for the upcoming events po, for August and September series po namin. So, ito about Microsoft tools po. Okay. Okay, so, I think Sir Art, Sir Norman. Okay. Sir Art, Sir Norman. Biglang nawala sina Sir Art at Sir Norman. Okay. So, wag na nating patagalin po ang dalawa pong speakers natin this afternoon po. Okay? So, despite po, ngayon ay holiday po, so still, nandito pa rin kayo sa Digital Technician nakaantabay for our successive live sessions po. Okay? So, ito po ay second session na po natin. So, ang guest speakers po natin this afternoon ay walang iba po ay si Sir Alwin S. Reclusado po, isa pong EdPuzzle Ambassador ng Philippines. So siya po ay mathematics teacher in Xavier School. He is a technology integrator in the classroom and also advocates for the appropriate use of technology in teaching and learning process. He is an EdPuzzle Ambassador in the Philippines, Google Certified Educator Level 1, K Academy Verified Educator from Kahoot, Certified Mentor and Coach, Quizizz Game Changer, Quizizz Recognized Community Professional Development Presenter, and Explain Everything Explainer Level 1. Okay. Through the various technological tools he employs in the classroom, he aims to transform technology into technology. And then, ang second speaker po natin ay walang iba po ay si Sir Joseph Gabriel Educado po. So, currently a public elementary school teacher 3 of Department of Education. under po ng Division of Silay City and a part-time college instructor at Silay Institute, teaching and handling professional education courses. He served for 4 years, a former teacher to indigenous people to the Sibato Bukidnon of Sitio Sibato, a small IP community in the hinterlands of Barangay Gimbalaon, Silay City in Negros Occidental. And also, he is a Google Certified Educator Level 2, an in-puzzle coach, a Kahoot Academy Verified Educator, with a gold and advanced course certifications, Globetrotter, Racketer, Master Coach, and Mentor, and Explain Everything Level 1 Explainer. Sir Alwin, Sir Joseph, good afternoon po.
Good afternoon, Sir Ben. Good afternoon, Sir Gab.
Ayan, good afternoon Sir Buen, good afternoon Sir Alwin, at good afternoon din sa ating mga viewers. Ayan.
Good afternoon, viewers.
Okay. So, since dalawa po ang speaker natin at their participants, so may tanong natin, ano kaya ang one thing in common sa topic ng ating dalawang speakers po? Okay, Sir Alwin.
One thing in common po sa topics namin ni Sir Gab ay ang paano tayo ma-increase ang participation ng ating students through technology. So yun po yung main idea, so that we'll be able to maximize the participation and engagement of our students as we teach our students in this setup that we have right now.
Okay. How about in your end, Sir Gabriel?
Ayan, I agree with Sir Alwin. It's all about increasing student engagement and at the same time, syempre, incorporating social learning doon sa ating assessments, online assessments with regards to our online distance learning. And siguro, nagbibigay din ito ng time for us, educators, to really put prime importance din sa gamification ng ating mga classes. Yan.
Yes, sir. It's because this pandemic po really taught us a lot po in many ways. Di ba po? So, ito
Yes,
pong
sir.
biglang shift po ay nag-iwan sa atin ng napaka-maraming leksyon sa atin. Okay? Any additional, Sir Art? Sige,
Yes, sir.
go ahead, sir.
So definitely, sir, we have to have lot of options ng mga platforms para sa mga teachers, lalo na natin. Na kailangan may mga options tayo na pwede natin magamit to make our classes more interactive with our students. And with this webinar, we're looking forward na hindi lang students sa matututo, kundi pati mga teachers, participant natin na magkaroon po tayo ng background sa ating pong topic this afternoon. And ito po ay napaka-helpful talaga sa mga online classes. Tama po ba ako, Sir Joseph and Sir Alvin?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir.
sir. Exactly.
Sir Norman, any additional, Sir Norman, regarding sa mga nabanggit po namin in relation po sa topic?
Sige sir, wala na po, wala na.
Yan, so nagkaroon na kami ng power interruption po.
Oo nga sir, bigla kayong nawala, kala ko ano nangyayari. Okay. So siguro wag na nating patagalin. So let's give the screen po with Sir Joseph, since kayo po ang mauna, Sir Joseph.
Okay po. Sige. Let me just share my screen po.
Yan. So to our participants, so enjoy, just relax and enjoy our webinar this afternoon. Let's start with our Sir Joseph.
Okay, so nasa boxes lang kami, Sir Joseph.
Ayan. Is my presentation po visible po ba?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ayan, sige. Thank you, Sir Buen, Sir Art, and Sir Norman, for inviting me sa inyo pong live stream ngayong hapon. And I'm very glad na I was able to be connected din sa inyong group, which is Digifil Technician. Ayan. And this afternoon, isa na naman pong makabuluhang presentation at mga learnings yung ating matututunan, because me and Sir Alwin will be presenting to you these two platforms na talagang malapit sa aming mga puso. And at times din, no, nagkakairingan din kami ni Sir Alvin on which app is best, no? Which one is the best in terms of gamifying and putting the core of social learning doon sa ating virtual classes, no, in terms of assessment. Kaya everyone, welcome po sa ating Kahoot Play Shop. Let's play and learn with Kahoot. Hindi naman po iba si Kahoot sa atin, no? Bilang educators, dahil si Kahoot ay it's been here for a couple of years now. And later malalaman din natin yung background ni Kahoot, paano siya nagsimula, and then ano na ba yung naging impact niya in terms of advancing, no, yung initiatives on gamification and social learning. Okay, simulan na po natin. Ayan, so mabuhay Kahooters. Ayan, later babansagan ko na po kayong mga Kahooters dahil maglalaro po tayo. That's why yan po yung main premise ng ating presentation ngayong hapon. Ako po si Gab Educado. I'm a K Academy Verified Educator, and yan po yung aking handle sa Kahoot, Gab_Educado. And if you have any inquiries regarding Kahoot or other edtech platforms, you can also contact me through that email. And I'm also holder po ng mga advanced certifications ng Kahoot, which is the gold, the silver, and the bronze, and at the same time, yung mga advanced courses. And later po, ipe-present ko din po sa inyo, i-introduce ko din po sa inyo yung professional development initiative din ni Kahoot. At yan po, yung mga other certifications, GCE level 2 na po, working on the trainer status na din and innovator status. Hopefully, sana ay maipasa. And I'm also an Edpuzzle coach. Together with Sir Alvin din, yan din yung yung aking mentor in terms of Edpuzzle, Nearpod, and Explain Everything. Ayan. So, yung grupo namin, yung organization po namin, you may also connect with us. Yan po yung aming website at yung iba pang mga social media platforms na mini-maintain namin. Ayan, ito po yung mga talk points natin for this session. No? Yung una, we'll revisit yung history ni Kahoot. Saan ba nagsimula si Kahoot? And at this point, ano na ba yung kanyang naiambag in terms of advancing yung gamification and social learning sa ating mga virtual classrooms. Pangalawa, how would you play your first Kahoot? Later, maglalaro po tayo. So I hope that everybody would participate then. And later, si Sir Alvin magkakaroon din ng parang quizzes palaro. So again, no, we want you to be there, to be actively participating doon sa ating demo play later. Pangatlo, how to find a quality Kahoot. Kasi as educators, kailangan alam din natin yung mechanics ni Kahoot bilang isang gamification platform, ano? And then paano ba maghanap ng mga Kahoot na align din doon sa ating mga learning competencies, okay? And if gusto mong gumawa din ng iyong Kahoot, tuturuan ko din po kayo how to create your first Kahoot. Next, how to assess learning results with Kahoot reports. Isa po sa mga magagandang features ni Kahoot is the data analytics. And I'm sure ito din yung parang commonality between Kahoot and Quizizz, no? Yung data analytics. And how would it help us go forward with our lessons, and at the same time paano ba ito makakatulong sa atin in terms of crafting mga enrichment activities or remedial activities din. Para ito din yung guide natin in terms of really crunching the numbers. Alamin natin saang mga parts ng ating assessment bumaba yung ating mga students, and so on and so forth. So later, I will explain it to you in a much more in-depth capacity. Next, why Kahoot is my winner for formative testing. So I will also give you reasons why kailangan ninyong piliin si Kahoot in terms of your as a mode of delivery ng formative test ninyo sa inyong mga students. Most especially na nasa part na tayo ng ating journey as edtech teachers or edtech enthusiast teachers doon sa ating mga online classes. And lastly, isang bonus content, isi-share ko din po sa inyo, yung professional development initiatives ni Kahoot. Yan po yung ating bonus content later. Okay, so handa na ba kayo? So tara, let's go. Simulan na natin. So what is Kahoot? So si Kahoot po ay isang game-based learning platform. So given that definition, game-based, so meaning it's all about paglalaro, right? It's all about gamifying your classroom, okay? And that makes it easy to create, share, and play fun learning games or trivia quizzes in minutes, okay? So yan po si Kahoot. Isa sa mga common questions minsan ng mga teachers na binibigyan ko ng PD session on Kahoot, Sir Gab, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng Kahoot? Saan ba nagsimula yung word na yan? Or ano ba yung word etymology niyan? So, eto, sasagutin na natin yung perennial question on what does the word Kahoot truly means? According po sa isang user na nanggaling sa bansang Egypt, sabi niya, yung name or yung word na Kahoot is of Welsh origin and it means intoxicates. Nakaka-intoxicate daw, no? Literally, yan yung kanyang definition. So basically, kapag naglalaro tayo ng mga game-based platforms, minsan kasi na-intoxicate tayo, ha? Not literally but figuratively. Kasi hahanap-hanapin natin. O di ba, teacher, maglaro naman tayo, mag-Kahoot tayo, or mag-Quizizz tayo. So yun, di ba? Intoxicates. So yan, teachers alam na natin yung ibig sabihin ng word na Kahoot. It is of Welsh origin and it means intoxicates. Okay, ano ba yung mission ni Kahoot in terms of the teaching and learning process? It is to make learning awesome. Okay, yung vision nila is to build the lead learning community in the world by connecting teachers, kasi mayroon din tayong parang component ni Kahoot, which is the K Academy, Verified Educators Community, kung saan isa itong community ng mga teachers wherein lahat nag-aambagan. Ito yung aking Kahoot, baka magamit mo sa iyong session, or there are also other companies, like Disney, like ano pa ba, Pixar Animations. So yun, gumagawa sila ng mga Kahoot, which also builds on top of the learning competencies in the basic towards the higher education ng ating mga estudyante. So connecting teachers, students, parents, even parents, and organizations with premium content. So hindi basta-basta yung content na nire-release ni Kahoot, dahil through the K Academy community, lahat ng mga content doon, nakakasigurado po tayo na all of those are premium. Okay? At lahat ng yon ay verified content. So Kahoot was launched in private beta in 2013. So that was ilan? 7-8 years ago at SXSW Edu in Austin, Texas. So its technology is based on research. So hindi basta-basta din yung pinanggalingan ni Kahoot, dahil ito ay research-based platform. Research by Kahoot co-founder Morten Versvik for his master's degree at the Norwegian University of Technology and Science. At yan po, binigyan ko po kayo ng link ng kanyang research study para sa kanyang master's degree. Yan. So basically, research-based yung core ni Kahoot, kung saan siya nanggaling. And at the same time, proven siya na effective in terms of, supercharging the teaching and learning process. And at the same time, yung ating mga assessments. Kahoot by the numbers. Ito po ay galing sa kanilang website as of January 2018. Ito po yung pinaka-latest data na ni-release ni Kahoot. US-based lang po ito, US-based na data. So hindi pa po natin alam yung worldwide, yung worldwide data from the users of Kahoot. 1.7 million po yung K-12 teachers from the US which hosted the Kahoot in 2017 alone. Okay, that's just under half. So basically, halos, di ba, halos half ng numbers ng mga educators sa US gumagamit ng Kahoot sa kani-kanilang mga classroom. 31 million US K-12 students played the Kahoot in December 2017 out of 51 million. Out of 51 million na student population, 31 million doon nakapaglaro ng Kahoot. And yung kanilang worldwide data, there are 206 countries na gumagamit ng Kahoot. 51 million Kahoot games on the platform. So, ito yung sinasabi kong premium content kasi ang dami talaga, no? Sangkaterbang mga Kahoot games yung pwede nating pagpilian on various subjects, on various topics as well. 1.6 billion cumulative players since launch, since 2013, di ba? Yung kanilang beta testing. So since then, 1.6 billion players na yung naglaro ng isang Kahoot, no, since they're launching. And there are 3.3 games played per second. Hindi lang natin alam, ngayon dahil nasa pandemic tayo, mas babad yung ating mga students as well as the teachers on our online classes and in our social media. Hindi lang natin alam kung yung data ba na dito regarding games played per second mas tumaas ba or di ba ilang percentage yung itinaas ng data na yan. So, those are Kahoot by the numbers. Yan. Sa school naman natin, Kahoot can be used for any subject. Lahat ng subjects covered yan. Kahit mga mother tongue subjects, parang nandoon na din. No? Parang may included section na din yung mother tongue. No? Meron ding mga teachers na gumagawa ng kanilang mga Kahoots which cater the needs of those teachers na nagtuturo ng mother tongue, Filipino, and the others. Any age hindi lang mga bata, kahit mga adult learners, pwede din natin gamitin. And with any device, mapa-iOS man yan, mapa-Android, mapa-Microsoft devices, mapa-Google devices, lahat ng yan ay compatible with Kahoot. And students, ito yung pinakamaganda dito. Students or players or the learners themselves don't even need to register for an account para makapaglaro. 'Di ba? Ang galing lang dahil yung isang point doon na mas nagpapa-complicate ng mga bagay-bagay in terms of accessing these platforms is the registration process, 'di ba? As teachers, parang ay nako, tuturuan ko na naman yung aking mga estudyante on how to register on this platform and on this platform. Unlike Kahoot, hindi natin kailangang mag-register. Kailangan lang natin mayroon tayong internet or data connection. Okay? So, meron ding nagtatanong sa akin, Sir Gab, with regards po doon sa data consumption ni Kahoot. Basically, yung data consumption ni Kahoot, wala naman po tayong parang parang standard na basis doon. Pero in terms of my experience with Kahoot, napakaliit ng data consumption na kinakain ng application na to. At depende din kasi minsan sa structure ng Kahoot game. As for example, ikaw, isa kang public school teacher, but yung kinikater mo mga estudyante, parang on unlimited data connectivity sila. So syempre, babawasan mo yung animation, babawasan mo yung paglalagay ng mga mahabang video on the question itself. So, pwedeng pictures lang or text yung gamitin natin para mas ma-enjoy ng mga bata in terms of low bandwidth connectivity. So, yun naman talaga yung problema natin dahil hindi lahat ng mga estudyante natin merong access sa magandang connection. Okay? And pwedeng magamit si Kahoot teaching in class if hopefully sana makabalik na tayo sa face-to-face, hopefully, and praying and for distance learning and even in blended learning format. Diba? Napaka-flexible ni Kahoot in terms of its usability. So ginagamit din ito ng mga teachers. Millions of teachers are using Kahoot to, number one, introduce new topics. Diba? Parang magkakaroon ng pre-assessment or pre-test sa ganitong topic, pwede mo gamitin yan. Pangalawa, review content at class. and at home. Hindi lang kasi na-access si Kahoot sa school. Kahit sa bahay, as long na merong connection, di ba? Pwede kang mag-review. Kasi later on, i-explain ko din sa inyo na merong functionality si Kahoot na yung test or yung isang, for example, isang assessment test na ginawa mo or formative test, pwedeng i-review ng bata. After niya nasagutan ito sa school or after niya nasagutan through your online class, pwede niyang i-review ito para mas matandaan niya yung mga concepts na pinaparating ng mga questions. Pangatlo, engage students via distance learning. Kaya yan yung ginagawa natin ngayon. Run formative assessment. Teach interactive lessons. Pwede ka na din magturo through Kahoot, no? Dahil parang meron siyang presentation maker ngayon, si Kahoot. No? Break the ice and reward the class. Yon. Kasi pwede ding team mode yung pagsagot. Collect student opinions kasi if your account is upgraded, pwede kayong mag-run ng polls within the Kahoot application. Foster creativity and teamwork. Yan. And engage colleagues with professional development. Kaya sa ating mga LAC sessions or mga in-service trainings, kung kayo po ay isa sa mga speaker, pwede nyo pong gamitin si Kahoot as part of your preliminary activity, no? Sa inyong mga sessions. Just, di ba? Just to put a dash of awesomeness doon sa ating mga sessions. Okay. Now, paano tayo mag-host ng isang live game? Napakasimple po. Kung ikaw po ay isang presenter at mayroon kang Kahoot game na gustong ipalaro sa inyong mga students or sa inyong mga colleagues or co-teachers sa isang training session, ikaw po ay yung nagiging host. Tama? You launch a Kahoot on a big screen. If isa po itong face-to-face session, pwede mo po yung i-present through a wide screen, di ba? If meron kayong projector. Or if not, if online session siya, pwede nyo din siyang share screen lang. Gaya ng ginagawa natin dito. And players, yung mga trainees nyo, yung mga students nyo, will join using the app. Meron kasing Kahoot app sa ating Google Play Store at sa Apple Store. Okay? Or, pwede silang gumamit ng kanilang respective browsers sa kanilang phone. Naka-embed naman yun, di ba? Isa yun sa mga applications na nasa devices na mismo. But just by typing kahoot.it via the browser. And syempre, they will encode the game pin para pumasok sa game niyo. Later, gagawin po natin yan. Playing, paano ba maglaro? So, players refer to the screen. Ito po ay if face-to-face siya ha. Players refer to the screen for questions and answers. Okay? And use their devices as game controllers to answer gaining points. So basically, yung phone po natin or yung device po natin, yung nagiging game controller natin kapag tayo ay naglalaro. So tutok tayo doon sa widescreen, babasahin yung question, may timer yan, and through your phones, doon tayo sasagot. Okay? At isa sa mga magandang effect nito, yung campfire moment. Bakit? Di ba kapag nasa campfire tayo at naglalaro yung ating mga Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, di ba? Sa mga campfire sessions, it encourages social play. Hindi lang ako lang yung magiging top 1. Di ba? Yung iba ay nakikisali sa'yo sa pagsagot doon sa question. And it encourages social play. Ito yung parang isa sa mga core initiatives din ni Kahoot, no? Encouraging social play. Okay? Yon. The importance of social play, ano to? It brings the learner from the back of the classroom to the front. Ibig sabihin, hindi nakikiride on lang yung ating mga students sa flow ng lesson. Sila yung star sa mga lessons natin. Okay? Because if you put the learners from the back of the classroom to the front of your classroom, mapa face-to-face man yan or online learning, they can feel that sense of success and fulfillment, di ba? And mas maganda din talaga if face-to-face, if nasa classroom setting, kasi loud learning equates to happy learning. Kapag naglalaro ng Kahoot, hindi bawal yung sigawan, hindi bawal yung hiyawan, because those equates to happy learning. Isa yan sa mga manifestation na yung mga kabataan or yung mga students natin ay nag-e-enjoy sa ating session. Excuse me. Ayan. So, basically, si Kahoot, ini-engage niya yung heart, okay? Yung heart, yung emotional and social parts ng bata. It engages the hand, psychomotor, tama, and it engages the mind, yung cognitive aspect. So holistic din yung focus ni Kahoot. Dine-develop niya yung heart, the hands, and the mind. Okay. Isa sa mga bagay din na nagbibigay ng uniqueness dito sa Kahoot because it's a platform where you decide on the learning content, the imagery, and how the Kahoot is played. Ikaw, as a teacher, as an educator, ikaw yung may hawak. Paano mo gagawin na napaka-engaging, napaka-enjoyable ng Kahoot game na gagawin mo? Because you are the ones steering the direction of the Kahoot game. Okay? Learning content, ikaw bahala. Ano ba? Tungkol ba sa ano yung gagawin mong Kahoot? Imagery, ano ba yung mga ilalagay kong mga decoration or yung mga necessary materials na makikita ng mga bata. Okay? And how it will be played. Multiple choice ba ito? True or false ba? Tama? Now, you can also search over 100 million Kahoots in the public library ng Kahoot. Pwede mong gamitin yung yung ginawa ng ibang mga educators. Pwede mo yung i-edit din. Okay? And make it as your unique Kahoot. Included na dyan, teachers, yung high-level content na mismong si Kahoot yung gumagawa. Coming from the Kahoot Academy. And you can adapt them for your class para masuit yung learning competency na gusto mong i-target. Dahil minsan, di ba, nagmamadali na tayo and we don't have time to create a new Kahoot from scratch. So basically, hanap na lang tayo yung naka-align na learning competency, i-copy natin, kopyahin natin, and at the same time, if you have questions na gusto mong idagdag or yung mga questions na gusto mong i-edit out at ibahin, pwede din yon sa Kahoot. Okay, di ba? So, yung level of customization nung Kahoot games nasa from the scale of 0 to 10, nasa 10 siya. Okay, so teachers, ito. How to create a Kahoot account. So, to get started with Kahoot as a teacher, kayo po, you need to register for an account. Ito lang po yung magkaiba. If you are a student, you don't need to register. But dahil teacher po tayo po yung gumagawa ng content, tayo po yung nag-i-initiate ng mga assessments ng mga bata, we need talaga to register. Okay? So, punta po tayo sa, sige, let me just exit this. Sorry po. And let me show you. Punta tayo dito sa tab natin on Kahoot. So, punta lang po tayo kahoot.com. Ayan. Type lang po natin. And you will basically be redirected doon po sa landing page. Ayan, sorry po. Landing page ng Kahoot. So, yung gagawin natin, you need to sign up. Okay? So, napakadali. If you have a Google account, ay nako, napaka-easy. Now, you need to choose your account type. Teacher ba, student, personal, or professional? So basically, dahil tayo po ay mga guro, tayo po ay mga teachers, punta po tayo dito sa category ng teacher. So you just need to click on it or tap on it if gumagamit po tayo ng tab, yung tablets natin. Now, you need to describe your workplace. Isa ba yung school? Nasa higher education ka ba? Part ka ba ng school administration? Or isa po kayong edtech-based business? Yun. Na nagkikater ng needs ng education sector? Pwede yan. So, basically, school po tayo. So, once that is done, pwede po kayong mag-sign up with your email. Okay? Dahil yung iba gumagamit ng ibang mga email platforms gaya ng Yahoo, di ba? Meron pa bang gumagamit ng Yahoo na email platform? Yun. So, baka meron pa, no? So you need to just to encode your email there and the password. And then you just need to click on sign up. Pero para mas madali at mas mabilis yung ating registration, meron siyang mga alternative ways to register. Continue with Google, continue with Microsoft, and continue with Apple. So, yung pinakamadali at napaka-accessible sa ating lahat is to continue with Google. Tama? Dahil meron po tayong mga Google accounts. Halos lahat ng ating mga emails are coming from Google. So, you just need to tap on it or click on it and then pumili po tayo or pipili po kayo ng account na gusto nyong i-link sa inyong bagong Kahoot account. So, once you click on that account, it will automatically redirect you doon sa inyong user interface. Okay, sa inyong pong dashboard. Okay. Now, just for the sake of this session, balik po tayo. Go back po tayo doon. Let's log in. Okay? For example, nakagawa na ako ng account. Mag-login tayo. Gumamit ako ng Gmail, so continue lang with Google. Yan. Then ginamit ko yung work email ko, yung deped.gov.ph. Okay, so pwede yan. Pwede din gamitin ng yung ating mga work emails. Okay? Dahil minsan talaga mas mas convenient. Tama na lahat ng mga communication regarding these applications or edtech applications nasa work email natin pumapasok. Okay. So guys or teachers, ito na po yung landing page natin. Okay? So basically, we are successful in creating our account. So meron ng parang customization ng profile. Gagawa kayo ng profile nyo. You will, like this. Papakita ko po. Ayan. You will need to, ito pala yung verified profile page. But basically, ganito din yung lalabas sa inyo. Yung parang lalagay nyo yung name ninyo, yung email. Pwede nyo ding i-link yung mga social media profiles ninyo. And then if you want to be included as part of the one of the many verified profiles ng Kahoot Academy, pwede din po kayong mag-apply. Yan. And you can also connect your personal websites. Ito po yung mga ginagawa ko pong mga Kahoots as preparation for the next school year. Konti pa lang, getting there, slowly but surely ginagawa ko po yung mga Kahoots na ito so that if the time comes, syempre, huhugot na lang from my Kahoot library. Okay, so balik po tayo sa home. Once that is done, you are now a Kahoot account user. Okay? Yan. Sige, punta po muna tayo sa live chat before I proceed. Meron bang mga tanong? Hello mga teachers. Ayan, we have 26 viewers. Later po join po kayo doon sa ating palaro. Okay, balik po tayo doon sa ating presentation. Now, eto. Yan. So, once you're done in creating your Kahoot account, let's proceed. How would you play your first Kahoot? Okay, how would you play it? Paano ba maglaro ng Kahoot? Okay. Kapag pipili po kayo ng isang Kahoot game, meron pong dalawang ways on how to play it. Una, for virtual classrooms, real-time po ito. Ito po ay nangyayari in real time. Like for example, if you are in an online class setting at gusto mong magpalaro ng isang Kahoot game, ito po yung pipiliin mo. Yung for virtual classrooms. But if you want to assign a certain Kahoot game for self-paced learning na pwedeng sagutan ng mga bata in their free time, pwede mo siyang i-assign. Okay? So later, titingnan natin yan. I'll present po muna sa inyo yung mechanics nito. Okay. So, punta po tayo doon balik sa ating Kahoot website. Ayan. For example, pipili tayo dito sa ginawa kong mga Kahoot. Punta tayo. Dito sa Filipino 3, let's open that folder. Okay, so for example, mga bahagi ng aklat. Okay, gusto mo itong i-launch, gusto mo itong laruin, for example. So you just need to click on play. Ayan, at lalabas yan, teachers, as a pop-up window. Pipili ka ng either either of the two, di ba? For virtual classrooms and for self-paced learning. Kung gusto mo siyang gawing single player game, kung gusto mo lang parang, just to check if gumagana yung ginawa mong Kahoot, you can also always start a single player game na meron ka mga kalaban na virtual players, na AI, coming from the system itself. Okay? So yan yung lumalabas kapag gusto nating maglaro ng isang Kahoot game. Okay. Now, balik tayo sa presentation. Okay. Sorry, let me just present again. Sorry po teachers ha. Ayan. Ang likot po ng aking presentation. Anyway, how to host a Kahoot live in class. Ayan, kapag tayo ay isang teacher na nagbibigay ng isang online class, paano mo siya gagawin? So when playing a live game, Kahoots are displayed on a shared screen. Gaya po ng ginagawa natin, ito po ay isang way of hosting a Kahoot live. Okay? Students join in and answer using their own device with an internet connection. Is parang isa din po ito sa mga, pwede din siyang sabihin na isa sa mga bane ng Kahoot dahil kailangan talagang merong internet connection. Okay? So, pero yung kinakain na data or bandwidth from the data allowance ng mga bata or ng teacher, napakaliit po. Okay? So, yan po yung lumalabas. Okay? So, itry po natin doon sa Kahoot application. Okay? I-demo ko na agad so that makita po natin. Now, since this is it, eto, pipili na tayo so it's a live class. So, punta tayo dito on the first option. So, click on that. And maglo-load po yan ng setup screen. Okay? Now, eto. So, again, pipili ka ng mode ng game. Pwede mo siyang gawing classic game, player versus player, bawat isa sa mga estudyante ay sasagot. Okay? Or, if ito, parang applicable siya in a face-to-face setup Okay, team versus team on shared devices. Bali, for example, if you have a learning team comprised of 3 pupils, iisang device lang yung gagamitin nila. So they will work as a team. So dyan pumapasok yung social learning. Diba? Kasi 3 sila yung mag-iisip doon sa sagot sa mga tanong. And teachers, don't forget, sa ilalim nito, you can, again, yung level of customization napakataas. Okay? Ayan, pwede mo siyang gawing nire-recommend ng system, yung personalized learning na parang pwede muna sila mag-practice. So pwede mo yang i-turn on or off by just clicking or tapping on this button. Friendly nickname generator. Pwede yan. Like para hindi makilala, hindi ma-identify kung sino yung mga players, no, just to add that sense of mystery doon sa mga doon sa game natin. Okay, ito din sa general setting, show question and answers on players' devices. So while they're answering, nagre-reflect doon yung question. Pwede mo ding ibahin yung lobby music. So pipili ka dyan, ang dami, right? At naka-thematic yung mga lobby music para maiba naman yung parang atmosphere ng game. Pwede mo ding i-randomize yung order of questions. Pwede yan. Or randomized order of answers. So for this matter, pwede mong i-on yun. Show minimized intro instructions. And advanced. Eto, yung mga advanced options, teachers, like 2-step join just to make sure na yung Kahoot game mo is secured. Para yung iba, kasi minsan yung mga students natin or pupils natin, minsan, ang lilikot din, di ba? Sinishare yung code or yung game pin sa ibang mga kakilala nila. So minsan, hindi mo din alam kung sino yung ibang mga estudyante na pupapasok dahil na din sa volume or sa dami nila. So you can always, you have the option, okay, to turn on or off yung 2-step verification. Automatically move through questions, like hindi ka na maghihintay ng timer. Like for example, once you hit your answer, it will progress automatically. Lalabas yung sagot and then automatically magpo-proceed na siya sa next question. And, ayan, meron ding rejoin after every game. Okay, so napakadaming mga customization options dito. Okay, so teachers, i-explore nyo din yan once you get hold of your very own Kahoot account. So balik po tayo doon sa ating presentation. Ayan, again, kasi po, sorry po, napakalikot ng presentation ko. Ayan, sige. Meron ba tayong mga tanong coming from the teachers? Sige, let me check po Wala pa naman. We are already 28 yung nag-view sa atin. So welcome po doon sa ating nadagdag na mga viewers. Now, teachers, how to host a Kahoot via video for distance learning. Ito po yung ginagawa natin basically at na-demo ko na po. Student-based challenge. Ayan. Basically, ito po ay parang assignment or parang enrichment activity para sa mga bata. They will play it asynchronously at their own pace. So, no pressure. Pwedeng i-replay ito ng mga bata. Pwede nilang laruin ng paulit-ulit so that the mastery of content will be there. Diba? Kasi isa sa mga factors din that affect mastery ng content is the repetition of the concepts, di ba? Once na pinapaulit-ulit mo yung concept, mas natatandaan at mas nagmamarka yan sa minds ng ating mga students. Now, eto kanina hindi ko pa ito naipakita. So let me demo this to you. Balik po tayo doon sa Kahoot. Ayan, let me just close this one, teachers. Ayan. Again, if you want to assign a certain Kahoot game, pwede yan. So, aside from your library, pwede ka pa pong maghanap ng iba pang mga Kahoot games. Punta lang po tayo dito sa Discover. Okay? Discover tab. Punta tayo dyan. Gaya ng sabi ko kanina, napakaraming content ni Kahoot na pwede mong magamit. If you want to search for a particular content, pwede mong i-search yan through this search box or maglagay ka ng filters, ano bang subject yung hinahanap mo, anong level, created by, sino ba yung gumawa, teacher ba yung gumawa, student ba, or language. Isa din yan sa mga parang strength ni Kahoot dahil yung mga ibang mga Kahoot that are available in these languages, meron yan si Kahoot. Okay? So, just for the sake of this presentation, punta tayo dito. Gusto ko social studies Yan. I love social studies. Ayan. For example, punta tayo dito from empathico.org, yung Kahoot on empathy. Okay. Now, dahil isa yan sa mga, topics mo, for example, sa social studies or sa inyong values education, once you click on that Kahoot, you will be given like a preview of that Kahoot. Okay? Pwede mong i-show yung answers. Okay, yan. Pwede yan. For you to check, kung tama, if aligned ba yan sa competency na gusto mong i-measure. Once that is done, you can play it. Teachers, isang disclaimer lang po, yung ibang mga Kahoot games na gawa ng mga companies or ng ibang mga platforms, minsan hindi siya editable kasi naka-copyright po siya doon sa company na gumawa. Pero if the Kahoot is created by teachers, yun po, pwede po natin i-edit yun. Excuse me. So, for this matter, click mo lang po yung play. Okay? And then, again, two options will come out. If you want to assign this as a self-paced learning test or activity, dito po tayo. So just click on assign. Ayan. And again, customization window po tayo. Yung challenge na po ito, isa po itong self-paced game. Wherein yung mga questions na from that Kahoot game can be displayed and can be played by the students at their own pace and with infinite replayability. Okay? Pwede mong i-customize ito, lagyan mo ng deadline. If, for example, it's August 21 ngayon, i-assign mo siya dapat matapos na ito ng mga students on August, like, for example, bigyan natin sila hanggang Wednesday, August 25th. And time, customize mo din. Kailangan tapos na nila by 8 a.m. ng August 25. There are also options. Gusto mo bang i-on yung question timer? Okay? Pwede yan. If you need to prioritize on the speed ng mga bata sa pagsagot, turn on the question timer. Pwede yon. But if you want to focus on the accuracy ng mga bata sa pagsagot ng tama doon sa mga questions, you can turn that off. Okay? Now, pwede mo ding i-randomize yung answer order. Okay? Every time they replay the game, in different positions yung mga answers. Okay? And it also helps the students to master the content. Diba? Okay. Nickname generator. To avoid inappropriate nicknames in the game, pwede yon. And you have a player limit of 200. Diba? Teachers, sorry lang po. Dahil yung account ko po ay isang upgraded account, ito po ay Kahoot Pro. Yung basic Kahoot account ata is with a player limit of 100. Hindi lang po ako sure if na-increase na ito by 150. Okay, so yun po yung player limit. But anyway, kapag sa isang class na lang din naman natin, hindi naman siya lumalampas ng 40, 45. Tama? So yun. Once you customize it already, just click on create. And again, it will load up and it will be generating this report page. Okay. Sir Gab, paano mo i-share yung game? Pwede mong i-share yung game pin. Nandito. Let me focus on that. Ito po. Yung game pin. For you to invite players, ayan. Share to them the game pin or you can copy the URL and send to the respective GCs ng mga bata so that they just click on the link and they are good to go. Okay? So yun. Yan po yung pag-assign ng isang self-paced game sa ating mga estudyante. Okay. So balik po tayo doon sa ating presentation. Again, teachers, if meron po kayong mga tanong, inquiries po, or questions regarding Kahoot, don't hesitate po na ilagay po doon sa ating live chat. Okay? Dahil we will try to answer po yung inyong mga queries sa abot ng aming makakaya. Okay. Sige. Meron na bang tanong? Okay. Not yet. Wala pa naman. So meaning lahat ay attentively listening to the presentation. Thank you po. Okay. Teachers, maglalaro po tayo. Hindi po yan yung game pin. Okay? I will generate a new game pin dahil parang expired na po ito. Pero teachers, punta po kayo if you have the Kahoot app already, later isi-share ko po yung game pin. But, if wala pa po kayong Kahoot app, punta po kayo sa www.kahoot.it. Okay? Punta po kayo dyan using your browsers po so that you will be redirected to the login stage ng Kahoot. Okay? So let me just minimize po my presentation and let's generate a Kahoot PD for everybody. Ayan. Ito po. Lalaroin po natin yung Kahoot intro quiz. Hopefully po makasabay po kayo. Okay? Again, review na din po ito, no? Just click on play. And then, hit on teach. Ito po, sa first option. Okay, it will generate. Yan, nandito na po tayo. Ayan. So, I don't need to. Alisin na lang po natin yung nickname generator para alam natin kung sino yung mga naglalaro. Okay, I think everything is set. I will click on classic. Player versus player po tayo. And then once that is done, it will load the game pin. Ayan. So it's already on your screens. Hopefully, nagre-reflect po yung game pin po natin. It's 9701881. Okay. Yan. Hopefully po, ayan, si Sir Bodge. Yung kaisa-isang player po na nakapasok. I think the others are still trying to get in, ano? Sige po. I'm also inviting our Digitech Filmation, or Digifil Technician, administrators to join, sa ating pong palaro. Yan, teachers, punta mo lang po kayo sa www.kahoot.it. I will type it on the live chat po. Ayan. With game pin, the game pin po is 9701881. Ayan. Punta po kayo sa www.kahoot.it and then encode the game pin 9701881. Ayan. Sige po. Let's allot like 1 minute. Let's just wait po for the others to log in. Ayan. I hopefully Sir Art, Sir Buen, and Sir yung mga admins natin from Digifil Technician makapasok din po sa ating game. Ayan. Ox lang ako. O, di ba? Jeff, Bodge, Itachi. Ayan. Teachers, binibigyan po kayo ng option doon po sa inyong mga nicknames kasi we turned off the friendly nickname generator kanina. So basically, meron din siyang parang advantage kasi pwedeng i-instruct yung mga students na mag-log in ng kanilang real names doon for them to be identified. Okay, but it also carries like parang disadvantage kasi yung iba, yon, di ba? Makukulit din, iba-iba din yung mga yung mga nicknames na nilalagay. Okay, so ayan, I think we already have 5 players. Yung iba po, once hindi naman po tayo na parang nagpapaliksahan po as if na meron po tayong prize. Sorry po, wala pa po kaming pa-premyo ngayon. But yet, this activity will just simulate the way that we present a Kahoot game doon sa ating mga students. Okay? Ayan. So, since 1 minute has passed already, meron tayong 3 or 6 players. Pwede pa pong humabol yung iba. Once the game is started, pwede pa pong humabol yung iba. Just encode your game pin. Okay, let's start. Okay. Ready. Ayan. The question is, what is Kahoot? Yan, we have 6 players kanina. Just awaiting the, ayan. So, lahat po ng mga choices are correct. Yan. So, next. Now, teachers. Okay. Just a quick FYI. Teachers, isa itong parang advantage din dahil in every question, pwede mong pwede mong i-enrich yung session by discussing the correct answers to your students. And for those students na parang nahirapan dun sa question, pwede mong i-clear yung kanilang mga confusion or doubts dun sa question. Isa itong parang learning moment for the students if you are carrying out a Kahoot game. Okay? And then, as a teacher, meron po kayong power to click on the next question para lahat ay sabay-sabay na umuusad doon sa game. Scoreboard, ayan. Itachi, si Sir Itachi or Ma'am Itachi is leading 953 points. So paunahan po yan, the faster you click, the higher is your score. How can I join the Kahoot community? Ayan. So, lahat naman ay tama yung sagot. Okay? So, yeah. Very good. Punta po tayo sa next. Scoreboard tayo. Bodge is leading by 1,909 points. Ayan, di ba? Kapag nakikita ng mga students yung kanilang score, uy, umuusad yung rank ko. Di ba? Parang yung self-fulfillment nila tumataas din. Uy, kailangan ko palang i-maintain yung speed ko sa pagsagot and syempre yung accuracy. Di ba? Parang ganon. Mas motivated yung mga students sa pagsagot dun sa iyong assessment. Okay, let's proceed. Next, question 3. Yes, I'm a Kahooter now. How do I start creating my first Kahoot? Ayan. I was able to introduce yan kanina. Okay, yan. O, di ba? Tama naman yung mga sagot. Okay, very good. Jeff, ayan, may answer streak si Jeff. Si Bodge pa din yung nangunguna. Proceed tayo sa question 4. How can I personalize my Kahoot? Again, later, teachers, introduce ko din sa inyo paano gumawa ng inyong self-made Kahoot later. Okay. Yan. So far, so good. Lahat naman ay tama yung mga sagot. Very good. Yan. Hindi natitinag si Bodge sa top 1. Ayan, yung iba ay humahabol. Question 5, nangangalahati na po tayo. How would you customize your Kahoot? Okay, aside from your answers kanina, it could also be, paano? Yun. May sumagot ba nung ano? Nung blue ay wala. Changed it sa haircut. So far, lahat ay yan. The same ranking. Yung scoreboard is always there, no? Just for you to monitor yung progress ng mga bata. Okay, question 6 po tayo. To play a Kahoot, I must? Paano? Paano ba maglaro ng Kahoot? I was able to introduce yan kanina. Yun. So lahat ay tama yung sagot. Okay, yan. Sige po. Question 7. Who can benefit from Kahoot? Ayan, sorry po teachers doon po sa parang nagkakaroon po ng problem from I just want a PC. Ayan. Ma'am, sir, di pa ako nakakasagot eh. Maybe po dahil na din sa timer po natin. Ayan. Yun. So lahat ay tama. Yun. So next. From Teacher Virginia Kayabyab, I tried but my Kahoot screen does not show anything. Siguro po naglo-load po ito. Minsan po kasi kapag yung connection po natin ay nagiging parang erratic and at times intermittent siya, yun po, nagkakaroon po ng problema in terms of loading. But yet, if maganda po yung connection, mas smoother yung kanyang pag-flow nung application. So minsan teachers, parang na-experience din natin na yung iba ay hindi nakakasagot. So yun yung mga factors na parang nakaka-affect doon, like the intermittent connection, minsan doon mismo sa mga browsers. Okay? Ayan. Sige. Okay po. Binibilisan ko po so that makapag-follow up po tayo sa next natin na session. Anyway, what does Kahoot offer you? Yan. Yan. Tingnan nyo po yung reaction ng mga students. Parang ganyan na ganyan talaga yung nangyayari, no? If it is used inside our classrooms. Okay? Yan, lahat ay tama. Again, let's see the scoreboard. Si Bodge, nagkaka-9 correct answers in a row na. Yan, last question na po tayo. Now that I'm in love with Kahoot, what should I do? Ano yung gagawin mo? Dahil na-in love ka na. No? You fell with Kahoot. Ano yung gagawin mo? Okay? Become an expert, follow them at Facebook, or download. Lahat naman yan ay tama. Okay. Now, next. Once the game is done, teachers, okay, it will present to you yung top 3. Okay, top 3 players ninyo. So parang recognizing the efforts din ng mga students nyo. Diba? Once they knew na sila po ay nasa top 3, yun. Diba? And also the runners up. Yan. Mini-mention. So you will just click on next. Okay. Teachers, ito na po yung parang reports page na nangyayari. Okay, the first thing that I suggest you to do kapag nasa reports page na po tayo, every after the game, kumuha po tayo ng feedback. Okay, let's get feedback. Let's click on this. Yung mga players ninyo kanina will be able to rate the Kahoot game that they played. So yan, lalabas dyan yung rating, for example, for the learning outcomes, like na-reach po ba natin yung objective ng lesson, yung mastery? I-recommend ba nila yung Kahoot game? At ano ba yung feeling nila after playing the game? Okay. So yun, isa yan sa mga ways of gaining feedback coming from the students or coming from the learners that you have. Ayan. Yung iba, nagbibigay sila ng rating na like parang hindi nila gusto yung learning outcomes or i-recommend ba nila, ayaw kong i-recommend. Basically, it also fosters freedom of expression. Ganito yung pagkaka-evaluate ko . So, this is my personal evaluation of the game also. So, for this matter yan, napaka-varied po ng data na nakikita natin. So, basically, kinokolate ng system yung responses ng mga players at nagiging numerical rating siya. Nagiging game rating siya of 4.2. Mataas pa din naman. Pwede siyang gamitin for the next sessions or pwede mo pa siyang mas i-improve pa. Okay? As a teacher, kung ikaw yung gumawa ng Kahoot game. Okay, and then teachers dito. 68% got the correct answers. Okay, so parang nagbibigay din ito ng signal ng signal sa iyo na you need to improve the content of your Kahoot game. And also, you can view the full report. Later, ipapakita ko po sa inyo. Punta po muna tayo sa difficult question. Kasi, ina-identify din ng system yung pinaka-difficult question doon sa test na ginawa mo. And you will be able to see the data coming from that difficult question. Bakit ba naging difficult question siya? Only 25% got the correct answer for this question. For the sake of this session lang. Like, 6 got no or didn't answer at all. So, ano yung nangyari? Maybe dahil sa intermittent connection, yun, ma-identify mo yung mga factors. Okay? View full report naman, teachers. Ayan. Pwede mo siyang i-view report. Now, may warning lang, teachers, just be very careful na hindi na po kayo nakakapag-screen share or after the class nyo nang i-view yung full report dahil dito lumalabas yung mas in-depth report nung test na ginawa mo. Okay, so dito mo malalaman. Sino yung mga students that needs help, yung hindi nakatapos, yung number of players mo, number of questions, at yung time finished, yan. Yung results ng bawat players, di ba? Very in-depth yan. Yung mga needs help, ito yung mga bata na kailangan mong tulungan. Bakit out of 10 questions, an answer nila yung 8. Okay? And then you will be able to see also the data regarding the questions per question. Yan. Yan yung data analytics. Naka-expanded view po tayo, or you can also have the option for a compact view. Ayan. So, yung feedback din, diyan mo makikita. Okay? So basically, teachers, isa sa mga pinaka-paborito kong part ng Kahoot, yung data analytics nito, because of the fact na streamlined siya. Streamlined in a way na hindi siya komplikado na intindihin, hindi siya complicated na intindihin. Ano pa ba? Parang pinapakita agad sa inyo yung mga essential things na you would need to reconsider with regards to enrichment activities. Ano ba? Would you need to reteach some concepts or would you rather proceed? Doon mo malalaman. Dahil yung instructional decision mo, nakabase din mismo doon sa result ng assessment coming out from your Kahoot game. So, yun. Okay. So, before we proceed po sa next part ng ating meron lang po mga tanong dito from Teacher Virginia Kayabyab. Do I need to install Kahoot po? I've been trying. Lumalabas naman po sa tab yung Play Kahoot, Enter, pero walang nakikita sa screen ko. Teacher Virginia, you need to enter po the game pin in order for you to go inside. Siguro po hindi ko lang din nakita doon sa customization page. Baka na-close ko po yung parang, well, the game is ongoing, pwede pang pumasok. Kasi meron ding mga options na ganon. Okay, I just want a PC. Nine-next nyo po agad eh. Sorry po, teacher, I just want a PC. Hindi po yung real name yung naka-reflect. Hindi ko po nine-next. Talagang yung kanyang, yung system po kasi, once the timer reaches its limit, nagsastop po agad. And maybe dahil na din po sa delay ng connection. Sorry po. Maybe next time po we could have like a lengthy game of Kahoot po. Ayan, thank you Sir Bodge. Yes po, pwede nyo din pong mag-install ng Kahoot app para mas madali pong maka-access dun sa game. Ayan, sige po. Pero teachers parang nag-roll out na din ng update si Kahoot na once you turned on like an option kanina, hindi ko lang na ipakita, na pwedeng i-view lahat yung question and at the same time yung mga choices doon sa devices. At lumalabas naman ata because we tried it last time doon sa isang session and lumalabas. Ayan, sige po. Thank you teachers Sorry po at parang nagmamadali po yung presentation. Ayan. Bawi po tayo sa next time if meron pa po tayong next session with regards to Kahoot. Okay. Now, teachers, how to find the quality Kahoot? Kanina, I was also able to present it to you na merong napakarami na Kahoot games na pwedeng pagpilian. Okay? Yung Kahoot library itself ay napakadami. Pero once you gain access din sa K Academy, ay nako, napakarami din. These are all ready to use and these can be great starting points for you if wala na po kayong time to create a Kahoot from scratch. Kasi, di ba, gagawa ka pa ng questions and all of those. Pero if you could, di ba, search for them inside the Kahoot library, why not? Di ba? Mas napapadali yung buhay natin with that option. Again, I would just like to underscore na teachers, yung mga Kahoot na mga premium partners like Disney, Marvel, National Geographic, Merriam-Webster, ano pa ba, Rebel Girls, Time, Kids, lahat ng yon, once na yung Kahoot ay coming from premium partners, these are all not editable. Meaning, hindi po natin ito na-edit kasi lahat ng kanilang content ay copyrighted. But, if you select Kahoots coming from teachers, na gawa ng mga teachers mismo, na pwede siyang editable, pwede kayong pumili doon. Okay? Dahil nire-raise din ni Kahoot na yung ginagawa mong mga Kahoots could also help other educators, di ba, to supercharge their lessons through your Kahoot games. Okay? So kanina I was able to show you how to search for Kahoots. Pwede kayong maglagay ng filters para mas mapadali yung pagse-search ninyo ng Kahoot. By subject yan, by levels, K-12 ba yan, higher ed, grade, or particular grades. Tama? Or created by. Yung created by filter, pinapakita niya yung mga Kahoots na gawa ng mga teachers or yung mga gawa ng mga students. Okay? Or gawa ng mga partners ng Kahoot. Pwede din. Or languages. Okay? Now, how would you create your first Kahoot? Okay? Dito, teachers, ayan, ipapakita ko po later sa inyo. How would you create your first Kahoot? Very simple. Very fast din. Once you have the initial things that you need. Siyempre, yung unang-una dyan ay yung learning objectives mo. Ano ba yung objective mo for that lesson? Or ano ba yung mga objectives or competencies na gusto mong i-measure through your Kahoot game? Yan. Always, bumabalik po tayo sa ating learning objectives. Tatandaan po natin yan. Okay? Teachers, napakaraming question types na pwedeng pagpilian, but the basic account for a Kahooter, yung available sa kanya is yung quiz. Ito po. Let me zoom. Ay, sorry po. Yeah, hindi pala ako makaka-zoom dito. It's quiz. Yan po yung multiple choice at saka true or false. Okay? But if you meron po tayong extra funds, no? And I would really recommend, no, na if you have that extra fund, pwede nyo ding i-upscale or i-level up yung Kahoot account ninyo to Kahoot Pro or Kahoot Premium dahil meron pa po tayong ibang question types like type answer, like short answers yan. Puzzle, pwede mong parang sa puzzle type question, pwede mong i-rearrange yung order ng mga questions. Ngayon, naidagdag yung quiz plus audio. If you're a language teacher, mas makakatulong sa iyo to. For example, sa pronunciation ng mga words, pwede yan. Or if you want to spice up your comprehension, like comprehension quiz for a certain reading, pwede mong ilagay yung question and then you will record something dyan na nagsasalita or nagbabasa ng content. Okay? Now, also, hindi din available, teachers, no, unfortunately, hindi available sa basic yung poll, word cloud, open-ended, and brainstorm. Lumalabas lang ito, I think, sa Kahoot Pro, starting from Kahoot Pro towards Kahoot Premium Plus. Yung poll, syempre, nandyan yan, word cloud, pwede kang gumawa. Open-ended, like type a long free-form response. Like for essays, pwede yan. Brainstorm. Pero teachers, sa inyong basic accounts, pwede tayong gumawa ng slide presentation. Okay? Na naka-embed sa Kahoot and at the same time, yung Kahoot quiz ninyo or Kahoot games, nandun na din. Okay? Okay. Now, I will demo to you, teachers, Yan. Sorry po. Bibilisan lang ni Teacher Gab so that makausad po tayo sa next natin na. Ayan. Punta tayo muli sa home. I hope that this is reflected on your screens. Gagawa po tayo ng Kahoot. Okay? So, you need to click on the upper right corner yung create. Ayan. So, dito sa create window, pwede kang pumili ng new Kahoot or there are available templates din. For the sake of our time, punta po tayo sa new Kahoot. You just explore po. Kasi parang masusurprise din kayo dun sa mga kaya pang gawin ni Kahoot. So, gawa tayo ng new Kahoot. And now, nandito na tayo. Okay? First and foremost, gawa kayo ng title. Like for example, gawan natin Kahoot PD Session 1. Pwede niyong lagyan ng description, depende po sa inyo. Lagyan niyo po ng cover image, pwede yan. You can also personalize or customize where you will save your Kahoots. Yung lobby video, ito yung parang kanina. Like for example, habang nagwi-wait po tayo dun sa ibang players, yun po yung nagpi-play. Yun. Also, you can select the language. Yan. The language of the Kahoot game that you will be making. Unfortunately, wala pa yung Filipino dito. Yun. So basically, yan. Pero pwede po kayong gumawa ng pwede po kayong gumawa ng Kahoot game na in Filipino language siya kasi hindi naman nagiging restriction yung language dito. Okay? Visibility, if you want to make it private or public. Kapag private, syempre ikaw lang yung nakakakita nun unless you share the link to the players. Kapag public, searchable siya. Pwede siyang ma-search nung ibang mga educators from the Kahoot library. And then you can select other lobby music. Okay? Then click done. Once you are done customizing it, once it is saved. Yeah. Like, this is your question bar. Dito tayo nagta-type ng question. Pwede natin ilagay dyan, what is Kahoot? Now, features, isa sa mga features ni Kahoot is that meron siyang text limiter. Ito. Okay. 120 characters lamang yung pwede nating ilagay dito sa question. Kasi basically, Kahoot also adheres to the way that you construct your questions. Effective questions should be constructed well. At kapag umabot ka sa limit, hindi mo na madudugtungan yung question. But there are also roundabouts for that limitation. Pwede maglagay ka lang dito ng inyong question or pwede mong i-post dito. Like you need to insert a media. Like yung question mo nakalagay sa isang JPEG or PNG file siya or picture siya, and then you upload it here. Pwede ka namang mag-upload ng image. Okay? For you to go around that text limit. Okay? Sige. And then you need to add answers. Okay? So basically, ito yung mga customization na pwede mong gawin. Also, teachers, isa sa mga updates na ibigay ni Kahoot is the equation editor. Yan. If you're a math teacher at nahihirapan ka in creating equations, pwede kang gumawa dyan. Okay? Or, yun. Diba? Pwede mo siyang turn into bold, turn italicized, and all of those. Okay? Dito sa right part, nandito din yung question type. Okay, pili ka dyan. Dahil teachers naka-K-Pro po ako, open po yung puzzle, tsaka yung type answer, at tsaka yung K-Pro, open din yung poll functionality. Pero sa mga basic, hindi po available ata yung puzzle, tsaka yung type answer, tsaka yung mga collecting opinions. You need to set the time limit. Pwede yan at a maximum of 4 minutes yung waiting time. Pwede mo ding i-customize yung point system. Standard lang ba? Double points or no points? And answer options. Yung single select, iisang correct answer lamang. Or multi-select, multiple answers yung ida-designate mo. Okay, so you just need to add more questions. Just click on this. And again, napakaraming options pa. If you already created a question bank, marami ka nang nagawang Kahoots, at meron ka nang naipon ng mga questions na pwede mong gamitin, you can search your question bank. And again, testing, all the available question types are there. The collect opinions options and all of those. Lahat ng yan are all in the editor, the question editor. Okay. Now, again, teachers, meron ding preview option. Si Kahoot, if you click on this, nape-preview mo yung output ng inyong question. Ano ba yung kalalabasan ng output or ng question ninyo if it will be played na by the kids. Okay, and once you are done, just click on this green button. Okay, dahil wala pang... So basically, teachers kailangan i-fill in mo muna before you can save it as your Kahoot game. Okay. So with that, ayan, balik po tayo sa presentation natin. If you have questions po, don't hesitate to have it on our chat box. How to assess, kanina na ipakita ko na din po sa inyo yung reports section natin. So let's just go through this lang. Just show to you the presentation. Kanina may summary section at meron tayong mga question view na mas in-depth yung data analytics na nakikita natin. And the player view. Titingnan mo yung data coming from the players themselves. Okay? Naipakita din natin yan kanina. Okay. Again, difficult questions. Kanina, it is also being tagged by the system. Preferably, teachers, di ba, kapag meron tayong mga difficult questions sa isang test, ginagawan siya natin ng isa pang assessment na sila lang, yung mga difficult questions lang yung nakalagay doon for us to reinforce learning as well. And siguro, as part of the review sessions ninyo, what you call this, nalilabel lang yung question as a difficult question if less than 35% ng students yung nakasagot doon correctly. So, yung 35% threshold po yan ng system. Once pumasok yan sa ganyang standard ng system, it is quickly labeled by the system as a difficult question. Napaka-helpful yun, di ba? So, what are the 6 things that I love about Kahoot? Number 1, teachers, we can search among millions of public games to play, or we can create our own. Pangalawa, we can explore Kahoot Studio collections. Lahat ng yan, premium content, lahat ng yan, ready to play, and these are curriculum-aligned games. Teachers, when we say curriculum-aligned games, ito po ay in the perspective of the US education system. But yes, tayo dito sa Philippines, we can also find Kahoot games that are also aligned naman. Kasi napakarami ng mga Kahoot verified educators na coming from the Philippines, and they are also contributing Kahoots that are in our language and are also aligned with our present curriculum. Sorry. Third, it works with any device. Okay? But kailangan may internet connection and 0 setup time. Okay? Pang-apat, it fosters discussion and social learning kasi every question, meron kang gap time na pwede mong i-discuss yung question na yon to reinforce learning among your students. Pang-lima, you can engage students even with complex topics. Gaya nga ng sabi ko, you have gap times and through your data analytics, I'm sure, no, kahit mga complex topics, mas napapadali yung pagdidiscuss nito at mas na-enjoy ng students kahit na napaka-komplikado nito because of the gamification feature na in-introduce natin. Pang-anim, Kahoot will always be free. Forever yan na free for teachers and students. Yan po ay advocacy ni Kahoot. Now, just a quick rundown how teachers use Kahoot. The 3 R's, review, and reinforce. Diba? When we need to master a certain content, we need to repeat it, diba? Review it ng paulit-ulit, and at the same time, we need to reinforce it para mas ma-master ng mga bata yung concept na gusto mong ituro. Next, formative assessment. Napaka best choice. Isa sa mga best choices yung Kahoot as part of your formative assessment because you can evaluate understanding and you can use the data analytics, the reports to track student performance over time. You can also use Kahoot as a way to introduce homeworks. Okay, you can reinforce learning by assigning Kahoot games as homeworks, as challenges. Pangalawa, it saves you time, di ba, in correcting assignments dahil ang system na mismo yung magko-correct sa'yo. Siguro, puwera na lang doon sa mga short answer, sa mga essays, sa mga long form answers, no? Na kailangan si teacher talaga yung maglagay ng points. Pangatlo, make homework awesome, di ba? Iba si teacher kapag gumagamit ng Kahoot. At mas na-enjoy ng mga bata. Okay? It's more fun, it's more playful, and it's more enjoyable. Di ba? Na na-change yung perspective ng mga bata in terms of homework. Mas na-excite sila. Uy, si teacher magbibigay ulit ng Kahoot challenge and I'm looking forward to it. Kahit ako, di ba, nung kumukuha ako ng master's ko, yung isa sa mga teacher namin in educational technology, gumagamit siya ng Kahoot and even Quizizz din in, di ba, in gamifying our learning. At di ba, kahit masters na, kahit adults na, lahat ng mga learners niya, as na-enjoy pa din ito yung mga topics na ni-introduce niya. Turn learners into leaders dahil yung learners natin hindi lang nananatiling learners. They could also be leaders. They could also create their very own Kahoots. You can empower them and to take control of their learning. And they have the free mode of creating Kahoots. At kailangan lang natin as teachers to support these students. Okay? So why Kahoot is my winner for formative testing? Feedback, napatunayan na natin yan kanina. Student engagement, di ba? Mas enjoyable siya. Mas naiiba yung perspective ng mga bata in terms of learning. At pangatlo, it's fun, di ba? Hindi natin makakaila na maganda. Maganda yung effect nung Kahoot and even Quizizz later sa, di ba, sa perspective ng mga bata in terms of learning and in tests, no? Now, as a bonus content teachers, yung Kahoot is also offering professional development credits, and through their PD opportunities, you can also get your certificates and badges. These courses are self-paced. May video siya na parang explainer video, and you will also be provided with like a PDF reading material that is summarizing the entire content of that course. You can learn more about this through kahoot.com/certified. So later on, if meron po kayong extra time, punta po kayo sa kahoot.com/certified. Tiered courses and you can get, di ba, rewarded with your very own certificates and badges. At yan, maraming salamat po. If you have further questions po, you can contact me on these my social media platforms. Yan po yung Twitter handle, yung Facebook ko po, yung work email, at yung Kahoot handle ko po, which is gab_educado. Maraming salamat po and magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Sir Buen?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Sir Gab. Sa napaka-very informative po na topic. Although, ang iba po ay familiar na sa Kahoot, but may mga bagay po na di pa po nila nakita, na ginawa niyo. Okay, so let's forward to Sir Alwin for his topic quizzes. Okay, go ahead, Sir Alwin. Remove muna kita, Sir Gab. Okay, sir. The screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Sir Gwen. Thank you very much to the admins of Digital Technician for inviting us. So for me, my turn. Let's take a look at quizzes. So before I start, okay pa po ba tayo? Can we use the chat box in our live stream? Okay pa po ba tayo? Say yes kung okay pa po. So let's start. So once again, I'm Alvin Reclusado. I'm a faculty of Xavier School, And I'm also just like Sir Gab, I am a K Academy verified educator. I am Kahoot certified game changer. I'm also uh, Quizizz certified game changer rather, and a Quizizz certified uh, presenter. I'm an Apple teacher, Google certified educator level 1, an Ed Puzzle coach, and the Ed Puzzle ambassador in the Philippines. So let me start with all-time bragging rights. So these are the bragging rights that I received when I ended last school year. So I made 16 quizzes. These are original quizzes that I made, and Quizizz sent this to me via email. That my questions or the questions that were answered by students. You can see the figures here, and I was able to host 21 billion, 2,149,000. Nalito na po ako, basta yun na po yun. So I was able to host this different to these different players. So it means that hindi lamang po yung mga estudyante ko at yung mga kapwa ko teachers sa Xavier ang nakikinabang sa mga quizzes na ginagawa ko po, but my quizzes are being played all over the world because it is in public and they can play with the quizzes that I make. And then in my classroom alone, so there are instances, so for example, I was able to host 105 questions with the 3 games, including surface, area, prisms, and cylinders. And one thing that I really like whenever Quizizz send this to me is when they say that I was able to motivate a certain number of students. So in this case, when I played from March 8 to March 15, this year, 2021, I was able to motivate 61 learners. And for me, that is a big deal already because it means that the work that I'm doing is helping my students. And then towards the end of the school year, I made this survey and I asked my students what makes learning fun. And for my students, for them, gamifying the lessons is something that made learning fun last school year. So we had, for them, last school year, I handled 3 sections. And all of these sections, they answered letter B, games make learning fun. So Quizizz, Kahoot, and WordWall. And some of my students gave this response as well when I did with the same quizzes that I made, that for them, when they get high score and lose the points, they want to recover the points again. So you get to try your best. So students get this competitive feel. It is entertaining, and for them, they really feel that they want to compete with one another. And for them, it is easier to learn, and Quizizz made the activities fun. And Quizizz is really an engagement platform. And to give honor to Kahoot, Kahoot started it first. If it is not, Kahoot is one of the first, if not the first, in this line of platform. And basically, when it comes to gamification, with the use of this kinds of platform, lolo po natin si Kahoot, because Quizizz only started in 2015. But even if Quizizz came to the scene a little later than Kahoot, I will see to it that you guys, teachers, will be enjoying Quizizz more than Kahoot. Boring na po si Kahoot. Kalimutan na po muna natin si Kahoot. Tama ba, Sir Gab? So how much time do you spend when you prepare your classes in a week? We plan our content, synchronous, asynchronous learning. We work on formative and summative assessments, assigning and reviewing homework, grading assignments, giving feedback, connecting with parents and guardians, engaging students in the classroom. Plus, most of the teachers would love to have a short time with their coffee. And what if we say that all of this you can work with Quizizz already? But yes, Siyempre po, tayo na pong bahala sa kape. So what is Quizizz? Quizizz is a learning platform that makes it easy to create and host interactive lessons and quizzes for synchronous and asynchronous learning. And over 30 million ready-made quizzes and lessons for any subject, and perfect for instruction, review, and low-stakes assessments. And students will get instant feedback and they save time. Teachers can save time grading. So teachers, one thing that we have to consider, Quizizz is started as an asynchronous tool wherein students can see and work with quizzes asynchronously, but Quizizz also updated itself and we can with it synchronously already. And then you see the reaction of the students as well, similar to what was presented by Sir Gab, that students are very engaged. So we can engage everyone, not just the fastest and not just the loudest student. So as long as your students will be joining your activity, then most probably they will be engaged in this through quizzes. So teachers choose between instructor-paced or self-paced modes. So when we say instructor-paced, it is the teacher who is controlling the quizzes game. When it is self-paced, then we can share the link and the students can play this at their own time. Students can join from anywhere and always see questions and on their own device. So a while ago, one of the problems that we encountered with Kahoot is that there are some people who were not able to see the questions. But for quizzes, we can see the questions. So yun po yung one of the differences. But just like what I have mentioned as well in the chat a while ago, it depends with the setting of the game. If we want our students to see our questions, or if you want your students to look at your screen, and only the options will be seen in their respective devices. And then gamified features motivate students to improve with every attempt. And includes accessibility features such as language support, image zoom, and read aloud. So when we say save time and let quizzes handle the busy work, so number one, the first thing that we can do is to find a quizzes and customize teacher-made content in seconds. So I will show you later, teachers, on how we can do this. And then we can get instant data and feedback without grading. Because when we use quizzes, it's not always the case that we need to record their scores. We can get this data and we can use this data to help us work with our understanding of our students, or also to measure the understanding of our students through formative assessments. And then, similar to Kahoot, students can join in seconds with a code or with a given link. And of course, we can save time with the integrations with Google Classroom, different LMS or learning management systems, and different tools. So how does Quizizz work? So we have our Quizizz library. So in the Quizizz library, all you have to do is to type in the topic that you would want to discuss, and then choose from over 30 million of teacher-created quizzes and lessons. And then use search filter to help you find and customize any public quiz. So when this quiz is from a basic account, then if we are using basic account as well, then we can edit the given quizzes. So, but if this is from a paid account, we can only use this given quiz, but we cannot edit it. And what's more good, one more thing that is good with quizzes is that we can mix and match questions from multiple quizzes using teleport. So all we have to do is to look for the different questions made by different teachers, and then we can add these different questions to our quiz. So we don't really have to make our own original quizzes, because if we believe that some of the questions that we could get from the quizzes that are made by different teachers. We can add them to our quiz, and that's it. Once we are done, then we're good to go. Similar to what we see on the screen now on how to use teleport. Next, this is one thing that I like, why I like Quizizz more than Kahoot, is that the multiple choice questions and a swanky math editor for STEM. And we can include images, GIFs in your quizzes, bulk import from a spreadsheet to make a long quiz in a jiffy, and use polls and open-ended questions to gather feedback before and after class. So for us, in quizzes, there are more options. Hindi lamang po multiple choice at true or false, but we can use multiple choice questions, checkbox, fill in the blank, poll, and open-ended questions. And using all of this, we can use this if you are using a basic account. So this is one of the advantages of using quizzes, is once again, you can make different questions. Hindi po tayo limited sa multiple choice at true or false. Kaya, Kahoot, update naman tayo dyan. And then lessons are an interactive way to teach. So you can also create instructor-paced lessons on quizzes. So using the poll, ito po yung makikita natin, or using your open-ended questions as what you see on the screen. So you are given real-time feedback from your students. Then we can combine text and media slides with interactive questions in a presentation format. Then we can import existing presentations from PowerPoint and Google Slides, and works live and asynchronously, in person and remotely. So this is one thing that I like with whenever I make my activities with quizzes, is that it's not all about the questions, especially when I use the presentation format. Because when I use the presentation format, I can discuss with my students the different ideas, and then right after discussing, they can answer different questions already. So di ba po, when we are in face-to-face, usually after we discuss our presentation, we have Q&A. Hindi naman tayo dire-diretso na nagdi-discuss lang nagdi-discuss, but we want the special part of that content, or the core of that content. We want our students to master that first. And we can do that if after a presentation slide, then we make another, then we give a question right after that presentation slide. So your students will see your presentation, and then they can answer a question that we make right after that presentation. So we can be sure if our students are engaged, or if we need, if they were able to understand our lesson, or we need to repeat that given slide. And yes, if you already have a PowerPoint presentation or a Google slide, then you can import this existing presentations. So all we have to do is to convert these presentations into PDF rather, and then once they were converted into PDF, then we can upload them, and then they will be converted into quizzes presentations. So you can use quizzes or quiz or lesson. We can use it live from anywhere. Since this is, well, all we need is, as long as we have an internet connection and our students can join our quizzes or lessons, and they can play real time, or we can set our quizzes or lessons asynchronously with or without a deadline. So we can give this as homework to our students, and students can complete this on their own time. So these are some tried and tested ways to use quizzes from different teachers all over the world. So we can share practice quizzes at the end of the class to review concepts learned in a day. So it is not always the case that we play quizzes inside the class. There are instances that we can give quiz as a part of independent practice. So this is a good pedagogy or different way in in using quizzes for our classes. And according to Deputy Grocott, teacher hack discovered today. We did bin mass in maths, and the children all completed around 10 calculations in their books over about 25 minutes. Went on to quizzes and did similar types of questions only for them to all smash out 20 questions in about 5 minutes. So it is a way for this teacher, for Mr. G, to use quizzes and review his students or to check on his students if they were able to understand the lesson. So for formative assessment, we can monitor the students and the progress of our students with reports. So similar to Kahoot, meron din pong reports sa quizzes. And according to Teacher Sarah, I love the reports function in quizzes. You can look into each student's individual report or look at the responses to questions by the. So it is a great way to quickly check for understanding, and you don't always with online quiz games. So this is really very helpful for the different teachers, including us who would want to use quizzes or who have been using quizzes already in our remote learning, and use ready-made insights to plan activities for future or download reports for your own analysis. So depending on the level of accuracy of our quizzes, if the students got a high level of can move forward, and after that, if we think that some of the questions were not answered well by students or their responses are not that good, then perhaps we can use those different questions again to recall our students. So according to Sir Gab, Kahoot also have those question types. Kahoot have those question types, but what you need is that you need a paid account. But for quizzes, they are free. Di ba, teachers? Saan ba tayo? Di ba doon tayo dapat sa free? I'm just playing with Sir Gab. Teachers, hindi po kami nag-aaway sa totoong buhay. So, all set? So, teachers, can we create a free account? So, just search for quizzes in your browser and then create a teacher account. And then pick an existing quiz or create your own for free. So take note, teachers, that Quizizz is also a free platform. But if you want to upgrade, then you may also upgrade. And then after that, we can share the code or link with your students, instant feedback. This is one of the highlights really when we gamify our lessons with the use of quizzes, is that we give instant feedback, especially when we want to be certain that our students were able to get our lessons on that given day. So we can also get connected. So teachers, please, if you don't have a Quizizz account yet, you can simply go to quizizz.com and you can get your free teacher account already. So let's work. Teachers, if you go to Quizizz, then please up if you don't have an account yet. And then when you sign up, you will go to this page, landing page. It will say welcome to Quizizz. Then if you have your Google account or Microsoft account or any other email, then just use them and then click next. And you will be asked on how you are going to use your quizzes. Since we are teachers, Just click at the school, K to 12 or university. Then next, it's either you are making this Quizizz account as a student or as a teacher. And once again, since I assume that most of the participants here are teachers, then click teachers. And then all we have to do next is to add our details. Number one, our title, Mr. or Miss. Then our first name. So I give an example here is Minerva. Last name. And then please see to it that your password is strong enough. And click continue. And I will be sharing to you a behind the scene of me making a Quizizz game. We are now in the homepage of Quizizz, and let us try making a quiz. So all we have to do is click create. And we have two options here, teachers. Either you want to make a quiz or a lesson. So if we want to make a quiz, just click quiz and then create a quiz. So name of the quiz, for example, prime numbers, then mathematics, then click next. Then the first thing that we are going to do is we have to choose whether it is multiple choice, checkbox, fill in the blank, poll question, or open-ended. So let's try the multiple choice. So what if I have this? Is 1 a prime number? So in this case, let's have true or false. Then since I only have two options, I'll make sure that I have either is it true or false. So the answer is false, and that's it. Then I click save. Or if you want undecided, save both. So it depends on how many options you would want to make on your given question. So I can also delete. Or if you want, we can add images instead of a question like this. So just click add, then continue. And we can set the timer. If this is for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, all the way to 15 minutes. So in my case, I will make this 20 seconds and then click save. Now, what if I would want to add another slide for me to discuss the topic? So I can just click add slides. And now I will be creating this one as a lesson. So now I have the topic, prime numbers, and then I can add slides. So what are the options that we have? It is as if making a presentation. We have title and subtitle, bullets. Then we can add images. Just a clarification, teachers, that when you add YouTube video, this is not applicable for those with basic account. This is for those with paid accounts. Then media with text, this is also for those with paid accounts. So these are the limitations of basic account, but I believe we have different ways of showing a YouTube video, or if you want to make a video, then you know the answer to that, i-ed puzzle mo na yan. So we can add images among others. Then once we are done, teachers, all we have to do is to click publish. So you see here the different ways for us to work with our given questions. So for example, you would want to edit it. You may also still edit this. Or if you want to add another question, this time it is fill in the blank. And if this were a math question, you see here the equation maker or equation editor. Or if you want to add an image, just click the image and you're good to go. Once you are done, teachers, just click publish. And we're already done.
So
another way for us to make questions, teachers, is to select or search from Quizizz. So for example, we want to search for prime numbers. So all we have to do is to look for the different answers or different quizzes made by different teachers around the world. So if we want primes and composite, if I want this question, all I have to do is to click add. And if I want to choose another one from a different teacher, primes, squares, and cube roots, so for example, this I will add. And once I am done, I'll go back to my quizzes. And there you have it. We have those two different questions already that I have gotten from a different teacher. Another way for us to take a look at this at Quizizz, we can just simply search the Quizizz library and search for primes. So factors and multiples, for example, or primes and composite. Let's click this. And you will see now the different results about prime numbers. And you can hover them. And you can see the questions of the teachers. Then we have different options in line with this. So if I am going to choose primes and composites, I can click play, live, assign, or preview. Or I can click the slide, copy and edit if you want to add more questions. And then how are we going to share this? We have different options. We have instructor-led session. Just click and then click present. So we will be now led to different ways for us to share. So we can click and get this link. All we have to do is copy link, and then we can share this link in our LMS, or for those who are using Messenger as their communication with their students, you can post that link as well. Or if you are in class, you can share this during synchronous sessions to your students, or ask your students to go to joinmyquiz.com and then just enter the game code. One more thing that I would like to highlight is we can work on this for asynchronous learning. So if this is if we want to assign this certain quizzes, just click assign homework, and then we select the date. How long do we want our students to work on quizzes? So if we don't want to give them a deadline, just click no deadline, and then click continue. Then the next thing that we can do is we can share once again this quizzes with different options. Just click share link, and you can share it through Google Classroom, through Schoology, Canva, Teams, or even in Twitter.
So there you have it, teachers. That is the behind the scene in working with Quizizz. And there's one more thing that I really like about Quizizz is this student-driven quizzes. And one thing is that there are instances that our students ask different questions. And for us to see to it that our students are engaged, one way for us to understand their understanding, or one way for us to take a look at their understanding, is not just us as teachers asking questions to students, but we can ask our students to make questions to be answered by their classmates. I enjoyed when I tried working on this, teachers, and I'd like to share to you how I did this student-driven quizzes. So what I did was...
I will show you one feature of Quizizz, which is not usually explored by other quizzes makers. And this time, this is the student-driven quiz maker. So we will be smashing two different tools, your Google Forms and Quizizz. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to send a Google form to our students, and the form that I have here is, first, for example, we ask our students to review. So as they review or research on a certain topic, then as they do that, they can ask one question here. Then you ask your students to make different options. So teachers, this is a multiple choice question and with 4 options. Then from these different options, please see to it that your students will give one correct answer. And you ask them, how long should your classmates answer your question? And the time that we have here, these are in seconds. So 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and so on. Once we have that, we can check the responses of our students. And what we're going to do is to click so that we can view the responses in sheets. So I have done this already. So here are the questions that I have generated from my students. You see here timestamp, and for the second column, that will be the email addresses of the students. So what we need is to copy from C, D, E, F, columns, I'm referring to the columns until I. Then copy and make a second sheet. And then once you are done, you download Microsoft Excel. So once we are done with downloading the file, let's go to Quizizz. In Quizizz, let's click create a quiz. So for example, our lesson is on prime numbers, highest common factor, and least common multiple. Mathematics, click next. And then you see here, teachers, the different options, but I'd like you to scroll down and take a look at here, import questions from a spreadsheet. Click this. Now you drag and drop. So I have here the student-driven file that I downloaded a while ago. I'll just drop it there. Let's wait for it to load. Now we have done already. Next thing that we're going to do is to click save. It may just take a little long, teachers, because Quizizz is doing the job for us already. Now, teachers, take a look. There we have it. These are the questions that our students made. And we already have 30 questions from our students. The next thing that we're going to do is we can either save this already, or we can publish. Click publish. So you are going to select grades. So for example, this is from 4th grade until 8th grade, and click save. There we have it. We now have 35 questions from the questions of our students.
So teachers, when I did this, when I worked on this, my students were surprised, and they were actually happy when they saw their questions that were being played in Quizizz. Some are saying that their classmates gave more difficult questions than some of the questions that I give, or some are saying that some of the questions are not related. So just a disclaimer, when before you work in this, is that you may inform your students why you are doing it, and then tell them that these are not your questions, but these are the questions of their classmates. And then if you're going to double check on this, you see to it that the time is also appropriate for the type of question. So for example, it says here in question number 1, there are 10 green strips of ribbon and 20 red strips of ribbon. What is the longest way to cut it evenly? So what I told my students is that if you're going to answer this question, perhaps we can give a longer time for their classmates to answer it. Something like those ideas. But overall, in that student-driven quizzes, it is very entertaining for the students, and it is also a way for us to check if they were able to understand the topic. Because if they were able to give good questions, then it means they have a good foundation of the given topic. Now, let's move on with Insider Scoop, or the different updates that we have from Quizizz. These were rolled out, which is the rollout started this month. And these are the different updates that we could get from Quizizz. So number 1, teachers, if you go back to Quizizz, now when you start your quizzes, this is now the new user interface. So you see here on top is import slides, and then the different kinds of slides that we are making. Because what Quizizz would want us to enjoy as teachers is to maximize this making of their lessons as well. So for example, I started working on this. So I titled it Math. And you see here the different things that you could do with your given slide. So the first one is about your text or your title. And you can edit it already depending on the size, in which in the previews you cannot work on this. And then this time, all you have to do is to click a slide. And if you want to insert an image, you can insert an image immediately. Unlike in the previous, in line with Quizizz, what they have is that you have to look for that certain or specific slide for you to insert your image. But this time, with Quizizz, with the update of Quizizz, all you have to do is, if you want to insert an image, then just click that part and you can already insert an image. And one more thing, you can insert an audio clip already. If you want your students to hear your voice, especially when you are going to give an asynchronous task, then your students could feel your presence still, even if your students can hear you still, even if you are not with them physically. Because sometimes giving this personal touch to the things that we are doing for our students, even if it is just as short as 3 minutes, as long as they hear our voices, then it really means a lot for them. Or you can also upload an MP3. And just like what I have mentioned a while ago, there is this equation editor, which is very helpful and handy for mathematics teachers, all from basic algebra all the way to calculus. So we can work on this. You also have the different symbol there, the Greek symbols, and all the way to advanced. And this is now the new way for us to take a look at quizzes when you make your questions. So you can immediately add a media and type your question. So you see here that it is well defined where to add your audio, where to add those different questions. And in line with questions, there is no limit with the number of icons that you can add in quizzes. And this is also another way with fill in the blank. And another way, teachers, another update is assign custom grades on quizzes. So you can custom the grade of the students already, and you can edit the different parts of your grading on Quizizz. And finally, this is one of the latest updates from Quizizz. If you have, as long as you have your gadget with you, because before, what we have is that we have student apps for students. But now, Quizizz have a teacher app, and you can use your quizzes, you can check your quizzes through your cell phones already or through your different gadgets with the use of the app. It is available, so if you are using iOS or Android. So those are the different updates that we could see with Quizizz. But how does this really work, or how does this really look like? So teachers, let's take a look. Let's just like what we had a while ago. You have had an experience of using Kahoot. Now I will give you a simple activity with the use of Quizizz. So let me share once again. So what you see now is we are in my homepage in Quizizz. Then let's start a live quiz. And this time, what I will be using is instructor pace. So when you use Classic, your students will be playing the quizzes and they will answer on their own pace. But when we use instructor pace, this is in line with the pace of the teacher. Then just click continue. So teachers, may I please invite you to please join in this quizzes activity. So please go to joinmyquiz.com, joinmyquiz.com, and then please enter the game code 386846. Sir Gab is already in our game. Maybe we can wait 2 more minutes for other teachers to join us. Please go to joinmyquiz.com and enter the game code 386846. To address the question of Ma'am Virginia while waiting for other players. So are those questions filtered before you transported uh, it from form to Quizizz, considering that they were created by the students? So Ma'am Virginia, those questions that I have imported are not yet filtered because I got them as questions as were asked by my students. So it is up to us. It is also our duty to filter the questions, just like what I said. One of the disclaimers that I make to my students is that those questions are made by their classmates, and they know that they are going to play using the different questions made by their classmates. And as we double check, we can double check the questions and we can remove the different questions which are not appropriate for class. But of course, before we let our students compose or make their own questions, we have to set the different guidelines. So in my case, for example, that's why it is important for me to require an email so that I know and the names of my students. It is also a way for me to double check who is making fun of their activity or who is not serious in asking those different questions. So we have our different ways to manage our class. And yes, thank you for this question. And I hope I was able to clarify your question. I was able to answer your question. So we have 4 players already. So I guess we can start playing. Give me a moment, teachers. I hope you can see my screen now. So true or false, you need a projector to use Quizizz. So the answer here is false. So we do not need a projector for Quizizz. So this is also a way for us to double check on our students. So we already have here immediate feedback. Next question. So when we have this asynchronous task or synchronous task, what you will see here, you see the names of your students as well. So once everyone is done, even if our timer is still activated, it will automatically stop. And still on top is Sir Gab, followed by Sir Buen. And you have different view. So for example, you will see here your different students, the names of your students. And once it has highlighted, it means that your student was able to answer your question already. So it means that you can still monitor if your student is participating or actively participating or not. You can also have this option with the full view question or the chart view. And then this is also the game code wherein your students could join, especially for those who were not able to join the quizzes yet. So let's continue. So Quizizz now has an instructor-paced mode that lets you combine text and media slides with interactive questions. So still on top is Sir Gab. Then we have. So unfortunately, no one got the correct answer. We move on to the next question. Which of the following is not a feature of Quizizz? On top now is Sir Buen. Then still on second spot is Sir Gab. Fifth question already, teachers. Teachers use quizzes to do which of the following? So we know that teachers can use quizzes for formative assessment, for taking attendance, direct instruction, and review or retrieval practice. Sixth question. Will you use quizzes this school year, teachers? So this is a poll question, and usually when we have poll questions, let's give our participants or our students a little more time to think about the different questions that we have. But in this case, since we have 4 to type in definitely, maybe let's give 5 more seconds to another player. So if the time is very long, we can disable the timer and end the question. Next question. This is an open-ended question. What did you enjoy the most about this session? maybe let's give 10 more minutes. So let's take a look at the responses of our participants. So teachers, just like what I mentioned a while ago, you can see the instant feedback and the instant response of the students as well when you use this feature of Quizizz on open-ended questions. So for Sir Gab, he said the new and awesome features of Quizizz are the things that he enjoyed the most in this session. For Sir Gwen, being tested in a competition and self-reflective gauging of one's learning. For Sir Mark, I learned a lot about the features of Quizizz as a tool for instruction and for remote learning. And for Ma'am and Narita, about the steps of using Quizizz, that's the thing that she liked the most. So thank you very much, teachers, for participating. I will now be ending Quizizz. So I'm now ending the quiz. And similar to Kahoot, it will now lead you to the next part of Quizizz. So after the live game, it will take you to double check on the analytics. So, but before that, we see here our top three. We have third spot is Sir Mark, second spot is Sir Gwen, and then we have first spot is Sir Gab. And then we see here the analytics of our students on which of the questions they got correctly. And then we can double check on the questions as well on the level of difficulty and the average time our students were able to answer their questions. You can go back and review the questions so that you can double check on the level of accuracy of your students. And you can also hide the answers so that you can discuss this with your students. And as also, this is also a way for you to double check on their learning, if they were sure of their answers or if they just guessed their answers, and so on. So teachers, that's it for me. So thank you very much for joining me and listening to my discussion. And I hope that you learned something and I hope that you will be using Quizizz because Quizizz is more powerful than Kahoot. Diba? I'm just kidding. So teachers, let us use any of the platform that will benefit us and our students.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Sir Alwin, for that very detailed and informative way of using this online platform for any form of assessment. Okay? So it can be open-ended or close-ended. And then another thing, Sir Alwin, with my experience, during taking the exam, since you're the only one inside the quizzes, the music they're using also really affects your way of answering. And during viewing a live stream, there's also a different music also being used in your end, different from us as takers of the exam. Okay? So, very well studied. Well studied talaga, sir. Gumamit talaga sila yung klaseng music na kung saan ay may iba yung mindset ng takers ng exam. Okay? And also the timer. Okay? So during taking the exam, wala kang ibang kalaban talaga. Although it's a competition, yung kalaban mo talaga is yung sarili mo.
Yes, sir, Bill. I really agree with that. So you should be competing with yourself because you want to improve and it is also a showcase of a student's mastery of the topic. Or aside from mastery, pwedeng prior knowledge as well. Kasi just like Kahoot, we can use quizzes for pre-tests and post-tests. And that I really use instead of me using pen and paper or other things. I really use quizzes or sometimes Kahoot for pre-test, and then after a unit, I use it for post-test.
Yes, sir. So, with decision, so two options na binigay niyo po sa amin, paano po namin pagagandahin ang pamaraan ng pagtuturo, especially we're preparing now for the upcoming school year. So, sa public, mag-open kami ng September 13. So, sa inyo siguro, nagsimula na kayo, Sir Alvin, di ba?
Yes, sir. Nagsimula na po kami noong June 14.
Okay. So, very advanced talaga. So, kami is ngayon pa lang September 13. So, this period is enrollment period pa lang. And preparation, everything. So, second year po natin ng year of pandemic. Okay. So, dear participants, I'm inviting you to please send your questions, clarifications, or any queries regarding the two platforms, Kahoot and Quizizz. So, maximize our chat box para ma-address po ng ating mga speakers po natin. Okay? So, mostly sa nakikita namin na Sir Alwin, Sir Gab, ay mga appreciations po. Thank you for this webinar. I have learned a lot according to Ma'am Inilita Villanueva. And then according kay Ma'am Virginia Valdez Kayabyab ay mali yata ang code ko, ibang game ang lumalabas. And then according naman kay Sir Jim Kevin Tabigni, worth it daw yung pagkatuto niya sa topic natin ngayon because of the resource speaker are very expert daw with your field. Okay. Sir Art, any additional, Sir Art? Sir Art, Sir Norman?
Sir, wala na. Very specific naman yung discussion ni na Sir Gab at saka ni Sir Alvin. Nakuha naman lahat.
Yes, sir naman. So although coming from a different platform, so the purpose naman is isa lang. Ay turuan tayo paano mapadali yung pagtuturo natin despite sa naka-distance learning po tayo. Alam naman natin distance learning lalo na sa public. Ang daming mga paperworks. Okay?
Yes, hello.
Yeah. Sir.
Yan, okay. So thank you Sir Alvin and Sir Gab.
Excuse me Sir Art, grounded yung Sir Art, audio.
Okay na?
Ayan, okay na yan sir. Sige sir, go ahead sir.
Okay.
Okay na sir.
Okay. So, to Sir Gab, meron naman po akong Kahoot account and ginagamit ko na po yan. And siguro ay sa'yo na po manggaling, sir. Paano ba natin i-handle yung mga students natin pagka nandun na sa event, sa situation kasi na definitely may mga internet connection problem, hindi makasagot, tapos minsan ay kumbaga yung dinadahilan, ay dapat nauna ako, dapat ako yung nanalo, ganun. Kasi especially nung time na ginamit namin sa mga teachers namin, may mga ganung reaction sila. Wala naka-display sa screen ko, dapat ako nauna. Ganun. So, kindly sir, pag-comment naman po.
Ayan, usually Sir Art, yun din yung mga reactions na nakukuha ko with my previous students, so basically it helps if before we go for a deep dive regarding Kahoot, kailangan din natin silang i-orient what to expect and what are the things that might also affect their participation or their performance with the game, no? However, kailangan din nating i-highlight as educators na minsan um, it pays that we always allow them to realize that due to some limitations, yun talaga yung nangyayari, no? And it's reality naman. However, there are workarounds naman eh. There are other routes na pwede nating gawin if ever na yun nga, no, with in terms of the connectivity issues, yung lag, ano pa ba, yung iba na yung code, iba yung naipasok, iba yung game na lumalabas. There is an option, no, within both of the platforms, actually, Sir Alwin, no, na yung mayroon tayong self-paced learning. Doon pwede din natin na parang ilagay sa perspective na yung game na ginawa natin, it's not just all about the points or the scores, but it always boils down to the mastery of the content. So kailangan talaga na as teachers ipaintindi natin 'yon sa mga pupils or learners natin, and at the same time orientation, no? What to expect, what are the expectations, at yung mga things na kailangan nilang kaharapin while they are on the certain platform. So yun. Sir Alwin, how about you? Meron ka din bang mga experience na ganun?
Sir Gab, for me, ang lagi kong sinasabi sa umpisa sa mga estudyante ko, lalo na kapag very competitive sila, sasabihin ko sa kanila na it's not all about the points and it's not about the fastest. What I like to see is that you guys will have a better accuracy or a good accuracy rate. Kasi mas gusto kong makita yung pagkakaintindi nyo. It's not, hindi lang kasi mabilis kang sumagot kaya mataas yung score mo. Kasi meron akong student, he got a perfect score, pero third place lang siya. Tapos, yung isa din na estudyante ko, merong one mistake, siya yung first place. So, nag-react yung isa. So, sabi ko na nakabalance kasi yan, depende din sa tamang sagot at kung gaano kakabilis sumagot. So, yun din yung one way for us to check on our students that it is a game, yes, it is competitive, yes, but they should also practice sportsmanship. So, it is also a way for us to work on our valuing in our respective classes. So, hindi lang about fun, hindi lang about game, but still, at the end of the day, we should be guiding our students to what is right and what is just, and always work with these teaching moments.
Yes, exactly. Yun. So parang yun din ata yung very core ng both platforms, Sir Alwin, right? Yung social learning, no? It's not all about the competition, it's not all about points parate, but the mastery of the content, no, the valuing na yun nga, yung sabi mo din, yung mga teachable moments, kumbaga, no, very important din na maipasok din natin yon whenever we have this very competitive students in competitive platforms din, ano, yung Kahoot at saka yung Quizizz, kasi hindi naman kaila sa ating mga participants na yung Quizizz and Kahoot is always neck to neck when it comes to updates, when it comes to features. Pero at the end of the day, gaya nga ng sabi ko, Sir Alwin, it always boils down to the decision of the teacher eh. 'Di ba? Doon na pumapasok yung ano ba yung need ko as a teacher, as an educator, ano ba yung need ng klase at ano ba yung need ng mga students ko.
Okay, thank you, sir. So definitely yan, reminders natin sa ating mga educators na kasama natin dito. We have to set guidelines before we use this particular platform. And definitely, a lot of challenges na ma-encounter natin, especially internet connections. And we have to be very considerate with the individual differences of our students. Yan po. So, thank you very much, Sir Alvin and Sir Joseph. We're looking forward na ma-explore namin itong Kahoot and Quizizz, and ma-enjoy po namin at magamit sa aming mga online classes. So, Gwen, I guess we are about to proceed with the giving recognition to our speaker.
Yes, sir. Habol ko lang muna itong message ni Ma'am Virginia Valdez Cayabia po, sir. Thank you, Sir Joseph and Sir Alwin, for introducing and showing us how helpful Kahoot and Quizizz are. Thank you for helping us, teacher. Okay, so the digital technician will give the certificate of recognition. The certificate is awarded to Sir Alwin Reclusado and Sir Jose F. Gabriel Educator for their invaluable contribution as resource speakers on supporting learning through their active online assessments. During the digital technician webinar held on August 21, 2021 via YouTube Live, given the 21st day of August 2021, the digital technician, Cebu City, signed by the three administrators, Arturo E, Norman B, Leynes Buenavides P, Gerundio Jr, yours truly. Okay, again, maraming salamat po Sir Alwin and Sir Gab. And sana this is not our first and last po.
Yes, sir. Always available for Digifield Technician, sir.
Yes po, thank you very much Sir Buen, Sir Art, and Sir Norman for inviting us. Kahit na very busy yung mga teachers natin and even Sir Alwin, walang tulugan, zombie mode. We are always free to share our learnings, to share those things na makakatulong din sa ating mga teachers. So yun, maraming salamat Digifield Technician. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir Norman, any message, Sir Norman?
Maraming salamat po sa inyong dalawa, Sir Gab and Sir Alwin. We are very lucky to have you here now to introduce Kahoot and Quizizz. Napaka-informative po at napakagandang gamitin platform para sa teaching process po. Maraming salamat po. Sir Buen, Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yan. Okay, again, Sir Alvin and Sir Joseph, thank you very much. Keep safe po kayo. And we are looking for additional webinar with you in the future po. Maraming salamat.
Okay, goodbye, Sir Alwin. Goodbye, Sir Gab.
Okay, goodbye po. Thank you.
Okay, Sir Buen, sa ating mga participants, kindly, yung ating certificate po, ano ba mangyayari sa certificate natin?
Okay, so in this second session, ito po ang ating link for our evaluation. At dyan din po natin makukuha ang e-certificate. So, ang advisor natin, kindly fill up carefully po kasi whatever kita nilalagay po sa loob ng Google Form, yan din po ang labas lalong-lalo na sa pangalan. Sa ating e-certificate since ay auto-generated po yan. And since kapag umabot naman po tayo, kasi umabot na naman tayo ng more than 100, we have 300 plus. So, kapag umabot po yan ng 100 plus, their participants, don't worry po, following 24 hours, mag-reset po yan. And don't worry, may bibigyan po lahat ng certificates. And please extend our patience lang po. We're handling a lot of viewers po. Okay? And wala po kami control since that's auto-generated.
Okay. So again, sinasabi lang po ni Sir Buen na we have 100 certificates ang kaya lang namin ibigay per day. Ano po? So once na na-meet po yung 100 certificate, sa first 100 participant natin, and then for the next day na po, magbibigay po ang ating auto-generated for certificate for the next 100. So basta hindi po kayo naka-receive ng certificate for siguro ngayon, mamayang gabi, then itry nyo po ulit tomorrow yung ating pong link. Anyway, pwede nyo pong balik-balikan sa YouTube ang ating recorded videos na to for you to be able to scan this code. Ito pong code natin ay pwede nyo pong scan. And then, kumbaga, matuto lang po tayo maghintay. Wala pong dumadating ay darating din po yan. So once again, sa lahat po ng mga naging nakasama natin sa ating part 1 webinar with the Microsoft and sa ating part 2 webinar with our Kahoot and Quizizz, maraming salamat. Till next Saturday, samahan niyo po ulit kami. We have our batch, we have our part 1 and part 2 ulit by next Saturday. Sa lahat po ng teachers, students, maraming salamat.
Yes, sir. And may mga ano tayo, sir, may mga viewers tayong nag-request na kung pwede may demo agad daw po yung pagkuha ng e-certificate using the training codes.
Okay, ano yan? Sir Ben, ikaw na ba?
Sige, i-demo ko lang po muna, sir.
Okay, so ito po yung demonstration on how you are about to claim your certificate with the Microsoft Center. So ito sa Microsoft nyo lang po gagamitin ito. Ito po ay doon lang po sa given code with given code ni Mama Serena and Sir Lester po kanina.
Again, unang-una po, proceed tayo sa browser and kindly type education.microsoft.com. Okay? So afterwards po, sign up po tayo to create your own account po. And then, once meron na po kayong sariling account, proceed po tayo dito sa sign in. Okay? So, sign in po tayo. Then, after signing in po, okay, for a while, ha? Okay, share screen ko po lang muna yung entire screen. Okay. Okay, so again, i-proceed po tayo sa educationmicrosoft.com sa browser po. Type po natin. Then afterwards, create po tayo ng account by signing up. Then afterwards, sign in po tayo. After po tayo maka-sign in, click po natin itong sign in. Tapos, lagay natin mga needed information. Then afterwards, yan, naka-sign in na po tayo. So, click po natin ang ating profile avatar po. Okay. Yan po ang ating profile avatar. That one. And then, redeem achievement code. Then, type natin ang training code kanina. Okay, so after typing the code, test po natin ang redeem. So, nakasuot po dito, you have already redeemed this achievement code kasi na-input ko na po ito kanina. Then, to get your certificate, balik kayo sa inyong profile avatar and then press my profile. And then, look it for the certificate po. Okay? So, if that's the first certificate, ito po ang magiging itsura ng certificate po. Okay? That one. Okay, so Certified Microsoft Innovative Educator. And then, press on yung naka-blue text and then view certificate. And afterwards, so makikita na ninyo po ang Microsoft Education Center Certificate po bilang Certified Microsoft Innovative Educator. And that's your certificate for that one. So, yan po, very easy steps to follow sa pag-claim ng ating e-certificate kanina. Okay. But in no case, for decision, so nasa ano po natin, nasa screen po natin ngayon. Okay, go ahead, Sir Noah. Sir.
Yan. Okay, so reminders ko lang sa ating mga participants. Sa pag-claim po ng ating certificate, wala po kaming control with the Microsoft. Ano po? yung binigay po na code sa atin ng ating dalawang MEA ay for you to claim your certificate with the Microsoft. Ayan po ay binigay po talaga ni Microsoft. Kumbaga, i-schedule nila ng ating mga MEA sa Microsoft and si Microsoft po ang nagbigay ng certificate. Ngayon po, kung wala po kayong matatanggap na certificate at ang nakalagay po dun sa screen, ang nabasa nyo po sa screen ay tama ba ako, Sir Gwen? Completed? Course completed or gano'n? Opo. So, lahat po ng certificate kasi natin na marireceive natin, may corresponding points po yan para mabigyan po kayo ng MIE certificate, Microsoft Innovative Educator Certificate. So, yun po. So, kumbaga, pag po siya po ay part po ng MIE certificate, wala na po kayong makiklaim na certificate. Kasi po, nandun na po, kumbaga ay package po kasi yan ng MIE certificate. Kaya makikita nyo lang po doon ay course completed or not exactly course completed. Basta may completed po nakalagay, automatic, yung certificate na po ay yung mismong MIE certificate. Tama ba ako sa Gwen? Ganun ba ang paliwanag doon?
Tama sir, basta first claim, yun po ang nakalagay. Pero second claim na po, custom training na po ang nakalagay.
Yun, custom training. Opo. Tapos makikita nyo lang po yun sa inyong transcript, yung mga na-claim nyo po. Kaya po, wag po kayong magtataka kung wala po kayong natanggap. Doon sa iba na nag-message po sa akin na walang natanggap, ay yun po. Kasi nga po, part na
Hello sir. Okay, nawala si Sir Art. So, yun po, the participants. So, ang mangyari po first claim po ay MIE po, Certified Microsoft Innovative Educator. And second po, following trainings po ay custom training but still counted din po yan sa loob ng yung transcript. So, kung enroll kayo sa loob ng Microsoft Center, no need to enroll those courses po. Kasi natapos nyo na. Okay? Okay, once again, dear participants, thank you so much for joining with us.